reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Good morning, San Antonio. This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. I'm no longer the new.
Yeah, you're a veteran.
I got this thing locked down.
You've done radio before sunup and after sundown.
That's right,
already.
Bubba.
Right.
That's
good.
right, Bubba. I've been here, done that. Whatever you're thinking about me, there's new guys here. Ain't no new guy here, pal.
How many Bubbas have you known in your life?
Couple here and there. There was a guy. He was my competition in Houston. He used to be the quarterback for. He was a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, in fact.
Oh,
Clint Sterner.
Yeah, Clint's a good friend.
He's
a Bubba.
You'll learn that I hate anyone who competes against me, and I don't have anything personal against Clint Sterner. He seems like a nice enough guy, but he started a show across town for me, and I instantly hated him and wanted to make fun of him. And so I would do an impersonation of him. And hey, Bubba, let me tell you what. Back in the day, I don't know if you know this about me. I was the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, America's team. Had that star on my hat, Bubba, and I'll tell you what, that's a good feeling, man. So
that's pretty spot on.
Anytime I would get into like a Baytown hillbilly voice, it would always be Clint Sterner, and that's when I start calling people Bubba.
Bubba. Okay. Now, the reason I've always been a fan of Clint, and because
of his legendary play.
No, it was that. But one of the reasons for his legendary play was he introduced me to high-end tequilas. He was the first guy that really was. I was out with him one night years ago, and we're all drinking whatever, and he's ordering tequila. This is probably 15 years ago. And I'm like, what are you drinking, man? He goes, the only thing I ever drink. And it was good tequila, and he told me why. Changed my life. So I owe him a lot of easier Sunday mornings.
Yeah.
Because of his introduction years ago.
You're not just slamming Cuervo?
Yeah. Well, see, I was not a tequila drinker at all. And what I did know of was tequila sunrises and tequila gold. I mean, Cuervo Gold, which is, so there's a reason why I had a distaste. And he introduced me to the best anejos and things like that. And so I always credit him, man. Seriously, I bet he saved me years of pain.
Is that your booze of choice?
It is.
Tequila?
It is.
Okay. And how do you drink it?
Straight. Neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
I always say neat rather than straight because it makes you not sound like an alcoholic.
Well, that's true. That's true.
When you say I drink
straight out of the bottle,
I drink straight. It's like, oh wow, you've got a problem, sir. When you say neat, it sounds like you're classy.
Yeah, and you put it in little tiny glasses, so you can't tell how much you've actually had.
Yeah, I see. Me and you might be friends.
We're gonna get along. That's one of the things, right?
Tequila's third on my list.
You a bourbon drinker?
I love bourbon. I love rye more than bourbon.
Oh man, okay.
I like rye whiskey, but then I like whiskey, and then I like mezcal. And then
that's an acquired one. There.
It is, but tequila's right below mezcal. Yeah. I love mezcal, and my wife, first of all, hates like the taste of mezcal.
Me too.
But she also hates how much money I spend on mezcal.
So that's an acquired, and there's some bizarre mezcals out there, man.
Yeah.
They're very ingenuitive. Well, ingenuitive is another word, but mezcal's always mixed with something weird. If you're gonna find something with like a snake head in it, it'll be a bottle of mezcal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't typically go for those that are like. I always feel like the hokier it is, the less likely it is to actually be good inside.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I just like Cabo Wabo or what? Like I'm just looking for like you start to find out what farms have the good stuff down there, and that's what I look for. But I mean, high-end booze is not cheap, and I sometimes will get into a mode where I collect it more than I drink it. Like I'll be like, yeah, I'm not drinking a lot right now, but I'm still buying it like I'm drinking all the time. Like if a buys a bottle and like before he goes to bed at night, he sees, oh, I got
about on the way home.
I got about 3 fingers left in the bottle. I got to get a new bottle.
There's never a full bottle. Several bottles of the same thing. It's always nearly empty.
I've got several bottles that aren't opened or have just had a couple pores taken out of them. That drives my wife crazy. And she's like, imagine I did that with wine. Opened a bottle of wine and just poured a glass and then like set it back on the shelf.
That's very different.
Well, the wine would go bad.
Exactly. That's very, very different. That's and in my life, I don't buy a lot. I buy the tequila I like. And then, over a period of years, you reach an age where the only thing people give you is alcohol. I get so many
It's
gifts.
My most gifted thing.
Yeah,
for sure.
and I give it. I appreciate it, even though I know I'll probably never drink it.
Yeah.
But I appreciate
it's a currency with men.
It is. And so only thing I ever buy is the tequila that I drink and wine. That's it. But everything else, I have very good bourbons, I'm told.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
But you don't drink them.
Not really. My brother, so I'll take a bottle over and we'll try stuff. And if he likes it, I'll either give it to him or he'll know what to buy. But I'm not a bourbon. I like, I'm an easy drinker when it's like Blanton's. Yeah, I know what I'm drinking, but it's not something I chase.
What's your if you go to you're at a social event, what's your cocktail of choice?
If it's a mix, I'm a beer drinker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but my doc, Dr. Torres, doesn't really
like you to drink beer.
So I'm a vodka at that point,
like a vodka soda,
something
or
really easy. Yeah, nothing. I try to avoid sugars at all costs.
Do you ever do tequila soda?
I have, but see, to me, it feels watered down. It's like a watered down Coke after the ice is melted.
That's essentially tequila soda is like my tequila soda with lime is like my that's my go-to at the casino now. Like if I'm sitting and playing blackjack or something, that's what I'll order because it used to be for a long time it was rum and diet.
Oh, dude!
But that makes you feel so terrible.
That's sugar, man, or what? The rum itself.
But. And then for a long time I did vodka and sugar-free Red Bull, which is terrible for your long-term outlook. But especially because like there was one time before I lived in Vegas. I remember I was there for a fight. I was there with a couple of my buddies from my fight gym, and we were raging pretty hard. And we were there for probably 5 days.
I can't survive that long.
Like I lived there, but when I lived there, I wasn't living in a hotel on the strip.
Right.
And about day 3 or 4, I don't know what time it was. I think it was I honestly think it was the middle of the day, but I was trying to sleep and I was laying in the hotel room in the dark. I was laying on the floor, I remember, because the bed it was making me feel sick. And I remember calling my mom and I said, Mom, I'm going to check myself into the hospital. And she's like, why? And I was like, I'm dying. And I'd had like probably in the last 24 hours, I'd probably had 30 vodka Red Bulls. And this was before I was like on sugar-free Red Bulls. So I was just drinking, and Red Bull's not my go-to beverage, but now I only drink sugar-free energy drinks. I do drink a lot of them, which I know is a terrible habit. But this time I was drinking full sugar Red Bulls with vodka.
So and vibrating off the floor.
And I hadn't slept in I don't know how long. Again, I was going on at least 2 days without sleeping at all. And I could feel my pulse in my eyelids. And I was like, this can't be good. I was like, I'm going to die. Like I need to check myself into a hospital. I didn't die.
And how long till you rallied and went back out?
I fell asleep, and I want to say I slept for like 2.5 hours, but at that point it might as well have been 10. Like I felt so much better. Now, when I got home, the crash was like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a nightmare.
Oh, the hits right about 5 minutes before I get on the plane.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've got nightmare stories coming back from Vegas where I've had to fly in the jump seat, like next to the flight attendant, because I got up and went to the bathroom in the middle of, like I say, the middle of a flight about 10 minutes after takeoff from Vegas, or whenever the sign first ticked off that you can go pee now. I go to pee, and I was on the aisle seat. There was a couple next to me. Dude's in the window seat, girl's in the middle. And I go to the bathroom and come back, and there's like a big crowd around my what the hell's going on? This dude has vomited everywhere. I'm talking the people behind us were covered in vomit. The people in front of us.
He did one of those trying to hold it back.
The row in front of them had splatter. My seat was just
devastated. You'd have had mine on you too at that moment because I'd have spewed.
The woman was just coated, and
just the thought of it, man.
And this is the worst part. She's like trying to defend him and saying it's not alcohol. He didn't drink anything.
It doesn't matter.
It's like, lady, we're leaving Vegas. You're trying to convince us that he's totally sober doing this.
So you're telling me food poisoning's better.
Yeah.
So I don't care.
So I had to sit in one of the little fold down flight attendant seats the whole way home because my seat was just ruined. People can't handle Vegas, Rob. People cannot handle Vegas.
Well, it's for amateurs.
You know, I had a little concern. Cinco de Mayo. Were you? Did you go out and do anything on Cinco de Mayo?
Man, I've made up holiday around here. It's a chance to sell some Corona.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a Sunday fun day in there, but
you know, there's people out there.
Oh yeah, man, they're ripping it. And if they think it's a real holiday, have fun.
I don't love the idea. I try not to be on the road during those made up holidays, St. Patrick's Day, Cinco de Mayo. I try not to be out on the road. But I wanted to go watch the hockey game that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, do I really want to be on the road?
Well, you just missed the most dangerous time of the year.
Which is
literally our fiesta.
I know.
I'm
kind of bummed about that.
Yeah, we'll get it next year.
Gringos, are we welcome to the festivities? Like,
if you define gringos outside the Bexar County or the 210 area code, yeah, you're welcome.
Okay,
but your money's welcome.
Okay.
But the thing is
it just debauchery? I want to know like what's going. I gotta see this.
It's not as tawdry as say Jazz Fest or anything in New Orleans.
Okay,
but it's as crowded.
All right,
and it's sticky, and we have just as many good things on a stick.
Okay,
so that'll be next.
So it's like the state fair.
It's no. It's a uniquely San Antonio thing.
It was just fun.
It's very cultural. I mean, it's very South Texas.
You love things on a stick too.
Oh.
You had a pancake sausage wrap on a stick.
You had a stick. I mean, it was just fun.
And just coming off, and it was fun. Just coming off Fiesta, you have to have the chicken on a stick with a jalapeno on it. And all the different venues have different versions. So you chase the best.
I like that.
Chicken on a stick. Yeah, that's our Fiesta thing, right?
I'm already excited about the food here.
This year, it was only like $17 a chicken.
For a full chicken or just a piece of chicken on a stick?
A piece of chicken pounded and stuck with a stick in it.
Oh boy,
dude, the prices. We'll worry about that at another day. But we've gotten outrageous. Fiesta Commission.
I feel like Fiesta should be for the people.
It's for toda la gente, man.
Yeah,
for the gente. I don't have that kind of money.
All right. Well, I planned on talking about Wembanyama winning the Rookie of the Year yesterday in the first segment. We didn't do that, so we'll do that next. We'll talk about Wemby. The shocking development is that if you haven't heard, we've got another Rookie of the Year here in San Antonio. It just feels like they collect those trophies in this town. So we'll talk about that on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
94.1.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for my favorite game app. It is Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Heck, I'm just one of 3 million active users. They're the easiest to play. They're the most exciting way to play your daily fantasy sports. And it's unlike other apps. On Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You're a fantasy player. You know when it's more. You know when it's less. Up to 100 times your money according to how you play it. $1,000 on basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries. Today is the time to play. You can turn $10 into big money quick. The biggest moments in professional basketball are happening right now, and it's no fun unless you're playing. Go to Prize Picks right now and remember the code Alamo for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's the code Alamo. Prize Picks fantasy. You're playing already. Go win. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code Alamo, and up to $100 deposit match is coming. Prize Picks. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
This is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor stuff that you love to do, like golfing, hiking, biking, jogging, playing on the beach. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints, like your knees, hips, back, shoulders. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became the future pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. So call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
Texas weather this time of year means storms, wind, rain, and hail. You know, if you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
You want another way to add excitement to watching the NBA playoffs? Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It is a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports, especially playing the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy and it is legal in Texas. So get started by going to the easy-to-use Underdog Fantasy mobile app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
All right, we're back on the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. He is Rob Thompson.
I got the Robert Earl Keen reference, by the way. I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
I did. I appreciated that. I really did.
You're the people of San Antonio, and we're glad to be here with you.
Oh, you're one of us now.
Am I?
Yeah. You're a first-round draft pick, baby. Hold up your jersey.
My goal eventually is to be puro San Antonio.
Now that takes
It'll take some time.
I don't get to even make that decision.
Okay.
Because I'm not puro. I wasn't born here. I still was. I got here when I was 5.
I'll earn it, man.
Oh, you'll earn it. You're
I'll earn it.
I'm a voucher. You already got a voucher.
Yeah.
So you know.
Rudolph's not vouching for me on the brigade.
Hey, Cinco de Mayo is not made up, but anybody, you think they're celebrating a big day of beating the French in Puebla down in Monterey? You think, yeah, okay.
And I didn't mean it as a made up.
No, not
thing.
made up, but it's
I'm just saying
to sell some beer.
It's a gringo holiday, is what I would consider it. It's for people who want to a reason to go out and drink some Dos Equis.
Yes,
yeah,
just like St. Pat's.
Yeah, exactly.
Some green beer. I mean,
yeah, like do
you drink green beer, by the way?
It's not my preference.
No,
it's not my preference.
You do it one time, and then the after effects the next morning is rather shocking.
Now you like beer with fruit in it. You like a wheat beer.
I do at the Rue Pub.
Mm-hmm.
They do a fine Blue Moon, and they always have a fresh orange, and they serve it to me at 1 degree above frozen.
Okay.
And at that point, that's the only place I'll get it. But yeah, I love their.
What kind of beer? What's your beer style?
Dos
preference?
Equis draft.
Okay.
Dos Equis is my daily.
Okay.
Well, I say that Dos Equis, but Yingling, the Flight by Yingling is a good daily by the pool kind of stuff.
Okay.
But for a meal,
I was at I was at the wing place on Wednesday, and the guy sat next to me, and he ordered a Bud Light, and then he said, "Do you have a lime?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, we've got limes." And then he said,
"What?"
And then he said, "How about lemon? Do you have a lemon?" And he said, we've got lemon too. He said, "You get a lemon in that." So this dude drank a Bud Light with a lemon in it. I never seen that. But
Yeah.
I'm like, well, listen, I'm new to town. What do I know? Like, maybe this is a thing here.
That just sounds,
I okay.
More power to you.
Yeah.
I didn't have to drink it.
Not for me. They
were out of Zima.
This was an older gentleman
who he grew up drinking Zima.
He looked set in his ways. Like he's one of those guys who's, you got lemons? Like you could tell he likes things a certain way. And that's cool.
More power to you. That's what it
all
takes.
Right. Surprise, surprise. Everyone was shocked last night at the announcement that Victor Wembanyama is the Rookie of the Year in the National Basketball Association. I couldn't believe it, for one. I didn't have a vote, but if I did, I don't know who it would have been for. It certainly wouldn't have been for Victor, because there was no way this guy could have been just like that much better than everybody. It's funny. I remember at the beginning of the year saying, because I worked on a sports betting show, and I worked for a sports betting company, and I said, here's what's going to happen. And I'm not always right. This was one of the times I was right. I said, let's do this. It's going to take, any Euro generally takes a little while to adapt to the NBA. I said, I don't want to pay the minus 160 or whatever it was at the beginning of the season for Victor to be the Rookie of the Year. So let's wait. I actually played some Chet Holmgren at plus 200. And then Chet Holmgren got off to the crazy good start, and Wemby struggled. And then suddenly what happened? Chet Holmgren became the big favorite. Wemby was like plus 185, 2-1. And I said, let's get some of that. And we'll just, as long as one of them wins, we're in good shape. And there was a clear time. You can look at the odds, how the odds moved. There was a clear time where Wemby figured out how to play ball. And it was like a straight down, like I think he was minus 20,000 or whatever to win if you tried to bet it yesterday.
Pop would have owed him an apology if he hadn't won it, because it wasn't his fault when it started out. Of course, he was young. But Chet, first of all, wasn't a rookie.
He was.
Oh, dude, he spent a year working with the Oklahoma City coaches. He spent a year getting ready. He's a year older, a year thicker. He wasn't a rookie.
Didn't that happen with Larry Bird?
It happened. I'm throw Larry Bird in there, throw Ben Simmons in there, throw all those guys in. I'm just saying, a year in the league is a year older, is a year of weight, is a year of nutrition, is a year of scheme. It's not fair.
Well, and that's why I thought there was some good value pre-flop on Chet.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely it was.
I was like, everybody's picturing him beating. I mean, it's not like he's not still the skinny kid from Gonzaga, but I said there's no way he's going to be the same player he was a year ago. Like
he was think of what when you last saw him at Gonzaga, Baylor was beating him up and taking his lunch money.
Yeah. And like that guy's probably 20 pounds heavier.
Yeah,
he's a different guy.
Different cat when we saw him again. So yeah, I get he'd never played in a game with guys with stripes, but dude, he was not. But you're right. Wemby figured it out at a much quicker rate than I think Pop expected. And it was also modulated. They weren't going to rush anything, but he picked up everything pretty quick. Turnovers isn't going to be an element, but everything else, he was a first try getter.
Turnovers are going to be an element anytime someone that big is handling the ball that much. Like it's not natural.
We're going to have to get used to it, sadly.
Yeah. But the impressive thing about this is, like, the rookie season he had is, and I mean, I talked about it yesterday, how it didn't really impact winning. I mean, they have one more win this season than they had the year before.
Yeah. But both of those records were manufactured. I mean, we were willfully chunking games prior.
When you think about Tim Duncan's rookie year, which is later on in the show, we'll go over some of the best rookie years of all time, but Tim Duncan is typically regarded as one of the better ones, as is David Robinson's. Mm-hmm. But Tim Duncan, he landed in like the best possible spot. He landed on a team that was already good, that was just not good for 1 year because of an injury. Tim Duncan's landing was similar to Andrew Luck's in Indy.
Very much so.
Like, the Colts were never the worst team in the league. they just had Peyton Manning got injured for a year, and it happened that when Andrew Luck filled in for them, it was like, okay, this team's not nearly as bad as people thought it was. The Spurs with Tim Duncan, when Tim Duncan got there, they were ready to order. They were ready to eat, I guess would be the word.
And the table was set.
Yeah.
The position was there. And he brought the one thing that the Spurs didn't have, which was the will.
Yeah.
Just the absolute will. We're going to go win the game. And David was a lot of things, but the will to get it done was not really his forte.
And Rudolph says on the Chet was never ahead of Wemby. Like, no, he literally was.
He was.
Chet Holmgren was like a minus 280 favorite at one point.
Don't forget, like Scoot Henderson was in the top 3 there as we close things out, and that guy's an afterthought. Now, not to say he won't, but
the first 20 games of the season, it looked like Chet Holmgren was like, he was
legit.
ready, and Wemby did not look ready. And a lot of it also had to do with team success. The Thunder this year were significantly better than people expect. I mean, the Thunder are the freaking 1 seed in the Western Conference. The Thunder are really good, and Chet played a part in it. But it became so obvious as the year went on that Chet's on a really good team. Chet's about the 3rd best player on that team. The Spurs are Victor Wembanyama and will be for the foreseeable future. For this guy to do the things that he's doing offensively, and it's not just I called him yesterday kind of the Ohtani of the NBA. Like it's someone who's his size shouldn't be able to do the things that he does, but to be able to do that stuff on offense, like hitting threes, but then to also be one of the 5 best defensive players in the league is absurd. For a rookie, it's absurd. Like if you said he'd been in the league 5 years, it would still be absurd. But for a rookie, it's really impressive. For a rookie to be that far advanced defensively, especially, is incredible.
His rookie year, first player in league history to reach 1,500 points, 700 rebounds, 250 assists, 250 blocks, and 103 pointers. He averaged 21, 10, almost 4 assists, 1.2 steals, and 3.6 blocks. And the blocks, really, by the end of the year, he was averaging 4 and 5 a game. I mean, it was just, he's locking things down. And when you look at what he did, I want you to, there was a time when I used to go, I worked at EA Sports, and it was, you'd go and I would MC these, how you have the Madden play, Madden things. Well, I would also go and MC the NBA Live. The guys would go and they'd have the NBA Live tournaments. And just like in Madden, everybody had labbed the game, and they found out the team and the unstoppable play. And that year, the cheat was the Rockets, and it was Yao Ming and McGrady.
Mm-hmm.
And if you won the tip, it was a high pick and roll to Yao Ming and McGrady that was unstoppable in NBA Live. You just couldn't stop it. The metrics and the analytics had been found out by everybody. So as you're walking around, everybody is playing Houston Rocket on Houston Rocket, and the guy who won the tip would win the game. It was unfortunate how it worked. Wemby, if you look at the metrics and you look at the numbers and you look at what his 3-point shooting started and where it went, you look at, just go Daryl Morey on me. If he can come up, I think that he looks about like a 35 to 40% top end 3-point shooter when he finally gets his base and gets some strength.
It feels right. Is that where he's best used?
Why wouldn't you shoot 23s with a down pick on Wemby? Why would, the high pick and roll is the play in the NBA. That's the play. It's an unstoppable play when the post and the guard read the defense. It's like blackjack. 9 times out of 10, if you read the numbers, you're in pretty good shape, and a high pick and roll is that.
All right.
If you're shooting 40% from a 7'5" dude, why would you not do that?
Oh, I have a theory on why they're not doing that. We've got to hit a break. We'll do that on the other side. It is the Morning Huddle, 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Oh, I got work to do.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I was watching the highlights of our Wemby. And I want to tell you real quick about the Institute for Functional Health. We were talking about feeling good earlier. Feeling good is about taking care of your body and monitoring what comes into it. I walked into Dr. Torres's office about 7 years ago. I lose track. 295 pounds, sweaty and sore, didn't feel good about anything. And I didn't think it was going to get better. I just decided, hey, I paid the price. I earned this. I'll just sit still for a while. And Dr. Torres convinced me just to give it a shot. Try something different. I stepped out into a place that was a bit uncomfortable. And here I sit today, about 70 pounds down now. It's still a process. I'm still losing, and I'm still living with it. How many people you know still living on a weight loss plan nearly a decade old? Because it's become my lifestyle. Because Dr. Torres taught me things that I had not learned about what my body needed to lose weight. See, when I went in, I got a full evaluation. They found out my biology, my history, because it played a role in how I got heavy, and it played a role in how I lost weight. And he tailored a program just for me. And he'll do that for you. I recommend getting to know him. Here's the number. I want you to write it down. It's 210-468-1891. The website is iffhealth.com. Listen to me on this. You know, you're going to age and you're going to put on some pounds. And when doctors start telling you, or your loved ones start telling you it's time to lose, it's time to lose. Call Dr. Torres today. Change your life. And when you do, I want you to thank me later.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, let's celebrate. Who would have thunk it? Victor Wembanyama is the NBA Rookie of the Year.
You got to honk your horns all the way to work. We're talking about that. Defensive Player of the Year gets announced tonight. He's not going to win that. We'll talk about the games. Plus, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Get the last water softener you'll ever own and tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
The last water softener you'll ever own. Call 656-PURE Kinetico.
Visit KineticoSA.com.
If you love them enough to turn off your music and pretend like their music is your music,
This is Mommy's jam.
then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Let's play it again.
Check today at nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Why'd the kid jump off the boat? I don't know. Why? Peer pressure. Oh, good one, Ned.
Ned isn't funny, but Ned owns a boat, and you don't. So every time Ned tells another one of his unfunny boat puns, you're going to laugh loud and keep on laughing until you get a boat of your own.
A pier where you put a boat. Yeah, I get it.
And when you do get a boat of your own, make sure you save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
You go into your shower feeling, but as soon as you reach for the Irish Spring, your day immediately gets better. That crisp, fresh, unmistakable Irish Spring scent zings your brain and awakens your senses. So when you finally emerge from the shower, 37 minutes later, because you pay the water bill so you can stay in there as long as you want, you're ready to take on the day and smell great doing it. Irish Spring Body Wash and Bar Soap. Fresh, green, Irish. Shop now at Walmart.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Let's go!
Hi, it's Jason Minix. You're listening to the home of the Cowboys, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thank you, Jason Minix. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This is the Morning Huddle.
AJ, do you not eat early?
I don't. I eat once a day, typically.
My Dr. Torres would advise you against that. I'm not a doctor, and I've driven by a Holiday Inn at some point in the recent past. That's probably not the best thing for you. I'm sure Mrs. Hoffman would not be happy to hear that.
She agrees with that.
Yeah.
I call it, what do they call that? The fasting, like the
intermittent fasting.
Well, that's my excuse for it.
Well, that's intermittent for sure.
It's not why I do it. I'm
lazy.
No,
and you've forgotten how to take care of yourself as a married man.
I'm not hungry until then, and I in my older age, I've tried to only eat when I'm hungry, and I don't wake up hungry. So I don't know. I also I think it's because, and this is not something my wife loves either. I think it's mostly because like I drink at night, and that makes my belly full. Like I'll have a couple beers before I go to bed, and so I wake up and my stomach's like, oh yeah, I still got some leftover beer in here. Like you're good, because I like to drink nice stout or something like that. It's almost like its own
bread.
meal.
You're drinking a loaf of bread when you're doing that.
But I eat and just not.
I'm just curious.
You haven't
because
seen me
I
eat
wake
yet.
up hungry.
Yeah,
I literally wake up.
Well, you eat right before the show.
Yeah, I need the sugar. I
don't want
a little bit of something.
I worry that if I did that, like in the next 4 hours,
regulate yourself.
I'd have to poop.
You will eventually, but see, you train your body. It's one of those things that you.
Let me get used to one thing at a time.
I know.
This morning
I'm just
thing is
say,
like,
but for me, I have to get something to eat. I don't know what our morning brigade does, but I have to get something to eat.
The Blitz is live. It's funny for me to say the Blitz. The show I did in Houston for 12 years was called The Blitz. And so
I did it for a while too. So it's all in our lexicon.
Yeah. Join The Blitz with Jason and Joe live from the Big Blind on Wednesday for the official grand opening. The Big Blind having a 12K tournament Wednesday, starts at 6:15. Tournaments all weekend long, not just poker. The Big Blind has daily blackjack tournaments as well. Like I came and it's just Vegas is here for me.
Dude, this place looks like Vegas. It really does. It's the most upscale I've seen.
When they're doing blackjack, is it double deck?
You know what? I can't speak. I haven't seen him play blackjack. I've only stood over the other.
How does I wonder what the workaround is for blackjack being able to.
I could not tell you. I've not played blackjack at a card house.
Well, I guess we'll be there
we
tomorrow.
We'll all learn. Yes,
we'll be there tomorrow. What time are we going to be there? Are we doing 4 to 5 tomorrow?
Let me check our calendar. 3 to 4 tomorrow will be our appearance.
All right, so we'll be out there 3 to 4. I might stay and play the poker tournament.
You should,
but then a lot of it depends on how I'm adjusting to mornings.
I'm telling you.
And
3 weeks, 3 months. Well, it's 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months.
Week 1 is tough.
You're living on adrenaline now, and you will for the next week.
And luckily, and I think you're feeling this too, you've kind of been dragged into my schedule this week in a way.
No, dude, this is what I do. I mean,
but I mean like doing the afternoon show also.
Yeah. That's the adjustment for me.
Yeah.
I don't normally see sunlight about 4 o'clock.
Yeah,
normally I'm in a cave.
So I think normally like I'll eventually be okay with doing mornings. And like I think your move where you take a little nap and then you stay up until 10:30 and then go to bed. Yeah. And it's almost like you're taking 2 sleeps.
It is.
I think I can do that. But right now, because we're being paraded around like show ponies, there's no time for me to go home and nap.
I know.
So it's, hey, you're going on this call, you're going on this sales call with people who, because they want to get our show out there and make some money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all for that. But then it's like you're also doing the afternoon show for an hour, and you're being kind of pulled into that. This is going to be a tough week.
You're in a tornado right now, so just hold on. I mean, you're going to land softly. It'll come because
next week we'll figure it out.
Man. Yeah. It's just that kind of a slow roll into it that you just adjust to one thing at a time. And look at things rolling.
Speaking of being sucked into a tornado, the Denver Nuggets are in a tornado, and they're in real trouble. I said yesterday, when we did the daily lines and we talked about the Nuggets being 5.5-point favorites, I said, boy, that feels like a lot considering what we just saw happen. And 5.5 point underdogs being a lot was an understatement, because last night what we saw was the defending NBA champions get absolutely humiliated on their home floor. And I don't know that there's a fix for this, Rob.
There is. I mean, it's one game, but I'll tell you what.
It's kind of two games, though.
It's a one game.
If the Nuggets had won game one and this happened, I'd say it's one game. In the NBA, there's the bounce back theory.
There is, but I'm just saying.
Like even you expected the Nuggets to come back strong in this game.
I thought when I heard Gobert wasn't playing, my brain told me, "Hey, profit taken. They're going to ease up. You know, if they come out fast and Denver's playing like they did, maybe they'll charge into it." But I think they were ready to pack their bags and call it a win. But Denver came in. I don't know what to make of it, because Joker got destroyed, and I don't know if it was arrogance. Were they arrogant? Did they think, or was it, did they get frustrated early because, you know, weird? I can't make out what it was. If it was arrogance, it's fixable. If it's frustration, it's not.
You know what I think? And we kind of talked about this yesterday when we were talking about Anthony Edwards or Wemby. Who would you want, like, the future of? And part of one of the things that I like about Anthony Edwards is I know, like, he's got that dog in him.
He does attack. He wasn't going to shut up last night. He didn't.
And last night when I'll tell you the best move when you do something savage, and then he was sitting on the floor and he did like the half lip snarl, I'm like, this dude's not losing to you, friend. He's beating you up right now. In fact, if you go to ESPN.com right now, there's a picture of Anthony Edwards doing the face that he did about 5 times last night, like after he'd get an and one or whatever. And it's just like, he's at a level or at a point right now where he's like, I'm doing this. Good luck stopping me. Jokic had no answer for Karl Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, for lack of a better term, bullied Jokic last night, bullied the MVP of the league.
You know, we were talking yesterday about, he's the kind of guy that go, you know, I'm tired of this, I'm going home. He looked like he was not at home last night.
He looks like he doesn't want another parade.
Seriously.
He's like, listen, last year I worked for 2 more months than I had to. I want to go home and play with my horse and, you know, see my wife, whatever it is. He's tired of working. I don't think Jamal Murray's that way, but if you saw Jamal Murray shooting last night, you would sure think he's got somewhere else to be, because what he did is kind of inexcusable, not only from an on-court performance, but he's throwing a heating pad onto the floor.
I don't know what that was.
And where you just said, if it's frustration, it's not fixable.
That's not fixable, man.
That's not fixable, dude. I think mentally the Nuggets are beat right now. I think that the Timberwolves look like they are riding with so much confidence. And the fact that they did that with the best defensive player in the league sitting on the sideline.
They're better without him.
They're certainly better on offense without him.
They're better without him. They're better without either Karl or Rudy. They're better. They're better without him. I don't know why. They're still big. Slow-Mo comes in and plays as good a defense as anybody, and you don't even think about him.
Yeah.
Naz Reid has small forward lateral quickness. So there is just no room on the court. One of those guys is going to be gone next year, and they're going to get better.
One of them is going to be gone unless this team wins an NBA title. Then they're going to say, well, now we've figured it out.
Well, they're going to have new owners show up and have to write those checks.
Here's the scariest thing. We talked yesterday about, you know, after game 1, we said, ooh, if Jaden McDaniels figures something out, the Nuggets are in real trouble, because he's a big key for what they do on offense. And I got news. Jaden McDaniels still hasn't figured it out.
He had one shot.
He scored 5 points in that game.
He had a big shot, but it was only one shot.
There's still room.
If I'm Malone and I'm looking at this team, and my first thought was, okay, Karl Anthony Towns destroyed my big. I don't know how that happened. I'm to go look at that. But secondly, I felt like Aaron Gordon had a terrible game. I did. I felt like that was the part of the Denver team that didn't really mesh. And then I go to his box, And it wasn't as bad as I thought, which is also horrifying because I thought he was a non-entity. And then going back, he had a very quiet 20. That's what's terrifying to me for Denver. Jamal's going to find his buckets. Jamal Murray is an all-NBA type. He's going to come back and get it. Frustrated where Aaron Gordon comes from because he didn't play badly and he was a non-entity.
All I know is he was better than Jokic and he was better than Murray yesterday. So I like if you're a Nuggets fan, he's the last guy you can blame right now.
No, I thought I was going to blame him. I look at the numbers and I thought, well, wait a minute. That wasn't the issue.
All right, we're going to talk some more on this series later on. We're also going to talk about the You know what? Let's do that next. Let's talk about the officiating in the Knicks-Pacers game because it's a big topic of conversation. And the NBA still can't figure this out. I don't know what it's going to take, but and I mean, we talked before, Rob. I don't know if it is fixable. It's the Morning Huddle here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 FM.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add an adjustable base. And Sunday. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
George gets justice. If you've been injured, get George, because George gets justice. With over 100 years of combined experience and a relentless dedication to your case, the attorneys at George Salinas Injury Lawyers will fight for what's right. If you've been injured and it's not your fault, get George and get the compensation you deserve. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-970-3199. That's 800-970-3199. 800-970-3199.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at TSAOG.com.
Experts claim there is nothing tougher than a diamond. But at Diamonds Direct, we beg to differ. Have you ever met a mother? Strong, radiant, timeless. This Mother's Day, give her the gift that meets her match. With diamond jewelry starting at $200. Plus Diamonds Direct's exceptional quality and unbeatable everyday price, you're sure to give her a gift that wows this generation and the next to come. Experience the thrill of jewelry shopping done right at Diamonds Direct. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Hey, this is Greeny. We'll tackle the NFL and dive into the NBA today at 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I don't want to talk about the officiating. We're not expecting to get calls in here. It'd be nice if they laid off that one, but they didn't. So, that's just the way it goes. I mean, we challenged it, they reviewed it, they got a bunch of people in New Jersey that agreed with them. So that's just the way it goes. So, we got to learn from that too. That's a timing play. Both guys are involved. So we'll have to execute that better next time.
That was Rick Carlisle, head coach of the Indiana Pacers, who are now down 1-0 against the New York Knicks. 121-117 win for the Knicks. I don't want to take away from another masterful performance from Jalen Brunson, who, 43 points, and I want to say 21 in the fourth quarter. This dude is... He and Anthony Edwards are like 1 and 1A for star of these playoffs. But the fact is that when the top story of that game isn't the guy who scored 21 points in the fourth quarter, it's how the fourth quarter was officiated. And here we go again. And now the Knicks have been on both sides of the 2-minute report, which is one of the most frustrating things in the world, by the way, the 2-minute report. I know they got to do it. It's not going anywhere, but it's been around since 2015 now. And I don't know anyone who likes it, because all it does is rub salt into the wound of whatever team got jobbed.
It's an anti-inflammatory. It cleans the wound. It burns like hell, but you got to have it. I mean, it's an antibacterial. It's pouring monkey blood onto it. I mean, you don't want it, but we got to have it because it acknowledges the problem is there's no ramifications, but we can't not have it. Once you have, the toothpaste is out of the tube. So they can't go from now on. We're not even going to talk about it. That'd make it even worse. Here's now. Last night there were 2 calls.
Yeah,
there's one that was judgment, the moving screen, the Miles Turner call. And then there was one...
The moving screen / flop.
Well, however you want to define it. There was that, and that's judgment. That's look at it, bang, bang, what did you see? And then there was a fixable. There was a fixable problem. And that one is excusable. I can see how you missed it. How many times did we have to look at the replay to still not be sure? I get it.
This is the problem, though, Rob. You say there's a fixable one and a judgment. Which one of those, like, when you say there's a judgment call and a fixable call, you would think that the fixable call would be the one that's reviewable and the judgment call would be the one that's not reviewable, right?
I didn't say that this was a correct order of things. One of them's right, one of them's wrong. It's just the wrong ones.
The judgment call is reviewable. They review that moving screen and they say, yep, nothing to see here. That's a foul. And then the out of bounds, like the kicked ball, college basketball would review that. Why can't the NBA look at that in the last minute of a game?
Ridiculous.
The last minute of a tie game, there's a close call on an out of bounds, and they're like, yeah, we got to stick with what we said on the floor.
Let's go back on this. I mean, I think the first question, if you're an officiator, I'm not even a word, if you're head of the officials, is you have to ask the question, did that call need to be made? And I think that's really the question has to be asked. Why did that referee feel at that moment
on the moving screen you're talking?
The other one was going to have to be made. It was this or that. The ball went out of bounds. I mean, there's no getting around that one. This one was, why did the referee at that moment, who had let that play fly all game long, Why at that moment did you decide that needed to be called?
Because a flop occurred and it put the pressure on the referee to call it one way or the other. When someone flops,
you didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, you didn't have to, but when a body flies, typically it almost,
in high school, I'll
puts
buy
pressure. Like, oh my God, I got to do something. A body just went flying.
College, I'll buy that argument. In the G League, I'll buy that argument.
I
don't
agree with
buy
you.
it in May in the league.
It shouldn't be that way. That's the way it is. It's frustrating as hell. And the NBA may have the worst officiating of any sport, and it may be the most unfixable. The MLB is right there, but it's very fixable, and I feel like we're getting closer and closer. The NBA, there's no robots that can do the NBA ref job, unfortunately. But all right, hour number 2 coming up. We're going to talk more about this officiating thing, more about the Nuggets, more about the Timberwolves. It's Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Riding the work with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. It's the Morning Huddle, KTFM Floresville.
Have you gotten your hands on Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB yet? Southern Recipe small batch offers big, bold flavors like hot honey, spicy dill, and sea salt and cracked black pepper. Bonus, you're going to love the low-carb, high-protein crunch. Turn snack time from ordinary to extraordinary with flavorful pork rinds. Pick up your favorite flavors of Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds at HEB today.
Imagine your team always looking and feeling their best in high-performance technical workwear. Cintas can make it happen. They have garments for almost every job imaginable. And with the Cintas Workwear program, you get freshly laundered garments delivered every week for everyone on your team. Great garments without the bother of laundry. That's a real perk for employees. Find out how Cintas can boost team image and morale. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy. Text CASH to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text CASH to 42424. That's CASH to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
For the last 4 decades, San Antonio sports has dared this community to dream big through the transformational power of sport. For 40 years, we've inspired youth to get in the game, motivated San Antonians to live healthy, been a force behind places to play, and hosted events that impact. As we celebrate 40 years of dreaming big, we invite you to dream big along with us. To support our mission, donate today at sanantoniosports.org.
94.1 FM, San Antonio's Sports Center.
Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama was unanimously named the NBA Rookie of the Year, receiving all 99 first-place votes. It's only the 6th time we've had a unanimous winner. Wemby led the league in blocks, which is why he's also a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year, although Rudy Gobert is expected to win. In the league, the number 2 seed Knicks held off the Indiana Pacers 121-117, the game marred by several unfortunate calls. Jalen Brunson's 43 paced the way to a 1-0 lead. The Timberwolves go up 2-0 over the Nuggets. They beat them soundly 106-80. Anthony Edwards and the Big Cat each scoring 27 points. Tonight, the Celtics and Cavs will play Game 1 of their second-round series at 6 o'clock. The Texas Rangers beat the Oakland A's 4-2 in Game 1 of their series. They continue today, first pitch at 2:37. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. He is Rob Thompson. This is the Morning Huddle. You can find Rob on the X/Twitter or the.
Are we ever going to adopt X?
I really just kind of want to go with Twitter.
I can't.
You know what X's issue is? There's no X word for tweet, because tweet as a verb works. What's X's version of that?
It was the problem I ran into with Prince. I didn't know it was still Prince. You can give me a symbol.
Yeah, and I see the symbol and I go, "Oh, that's Prince." But you say it out loud, you still have to say Prince.
Yeah, it's not crazy horn circle guitar guy.
So I'll just say, I mean, you can tweet to Rob.
You can X me.
Are you pretty active on the Twitter?
No,
okay.
I respond.
Okay,
but I'm not quick enough on the dial to be witty. You know, I can't type fast enough, and the witty stuff happens as I'm trying to type it. And if I try to get it out there fast, I'd look like I'm dyslexic.
You're a pretty witty guy.
But my mouth moves, but my fingers don't.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I endeavor to be witty. I want people to go, "Oh, witty." That what a witty guy that is. And I can't get it out there fast enough. Yeah. So what I do end up with is that guy flipping flops. And you're like, well, what? That guy's an idiot. Yeah, so I just refrain. I wish I was better.
You can talk to him at Rob Thompson, ESPN.
But normally you'll get a response from me, hours later. I'll go back and say, hey, that's a good point, and we'll talk.
Yeah, I'm not one of these guys who monitors it all day, but
it's not good at it.
When I pop it open, if I see something I can reply to, I do. I'm at AJ is the real. This is the Morning Huddle. Welcome in. And I see on our brigade, is that what do we call this?
Bar? We call it the Morning Brigade, and we just called the bar that scrolled the bar, and it just became the Brigade Bar.
Okay. We got some old listeners of mine from Houston have joined the brigade, it seems.
From what is when you think Houston, what's the area code you throw down? Like San Antonio, you might not have 210, you might be an 830 type, or you might be whatever, but you're down with the 210. What's Houston?
713.
713, that's what I figured.
Yeah,
so
but 281's pretty big too, and I mean, I think there's 4 there now.
Yeah,
but
the wonders of that. We got a big stick. I mean, and I mean that in every possible way.
Thank you.
We go pretty far east, but we're kind of
not that far.
We get to about Seguin, a little bit east of Seguin before.
But the beauty of the interwebs.
That's right, man.
So welcome into to you blitzers. See, OG blitzers they call. But that might be. That's the thing now. If you say I'm an OG blitzer, that may be someone saying, "Hey, I'm the Jason Minix, Joe Ryan, or Jason Minix and Rob." Like, what was the original version?
The original
of the Blitz?
Was Jason Minix and Dat Win.
Okay, so maybe you're a Dat Win OG. I don't know.
That's probably about 10, 12 years ago. Yeah.
Okay, so I think then the original blitzers would have been mine. We jumped off first.
Probably. I don't know the actual origin story of the Blitz.
Yeah, so we started in 2010. So
I would imagine that's again, I don't know.
It's a race. I don't know.
And here we sit.
It doesn't matter now anyway. But welcome into everybody. We were talking NBA officiating and the disgust and the disdain that we both have for it. And you're a basketball guy. Like you grew up playing basketball, you played college ball, your kids played the high level ball. This is there's not really an answer for it.
There's not. And here's my problem with I get this is such a basketball thing. Because basketball is the only sport where you have the my bad guy. Hey, my bad. I'm sorry, bad pass. My bad. And it's a my bad thing in basketball. It's hey, my bad. I understand. I made the mistake there.
No, you get that sometimes in football.
You get some my bads.
Receiver drops a
You
pass.
get a little bit of my bad, but basketball, you always see the my bad. Man, I missed you. My bad.
My kid does this. It's the thing that drives me the craziest. But he's a pitcher, and like if he throws a pitch that let's say he's supposed to be down and away, and he throws it high and in, and the catcher like has to make a big move to get it, and it's a ball. He wanted it to be a strike. He'll go, my bad. I tell him, dude, stop telling the batter
that's what you wanted. That was
you,
a mistake.
Yeah, don't stop telling the batter you're making mistakes.
Right.
You just like if you threw it high and tight on him, he doesn't need to know it was a mistake.
Okay, so I want you the my bad guy, which seems to be such a basketball thing. I'll never forget. I was thinking I was doing the right thing. I'm dribbling the ball. And I think I'm throwing a beautiful pass. And it was bad. It wasn't a bad pass. But I thought I had the right idea. So I was kind of proud of myself. And I'm backing up and I point at the guy, my bad. And the coach blew the whistle. He says, yeah, I know it was your bad. You don't have to tell me it was your bad. Don't do that again. In fact, you know what my bad is? Start running. He hated the my bad guy.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me my
Yeah,
bad. We know it was your bad.
We know.
That doesn't get you out of the mistake by saying, oh, I know I made the mistake.
But that's a 2-minute report.
That's
my
what
bad.
it is. And it's so typical of basketball. Yeah, we know it was your bad.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer is though, because like you said, they can't undo it. It's got to be there.
Yeah, you can't take it away.
But all it does is frustrate the team that feels like they were wronged. And I feel bad for the Pacers. I mean, listen, it was such a good game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like officials deciding games.
But at the end of the day, they gave the Knicks the chance. We wonder. I've always lived by the axiom. Sometimes it's better just to get your ass kicked. Sometimes you can roll out and everything you planned for was wrong, and you realize really early on, we ain't gonna win. That was Denver, and I always felt
like the Nuggets are worried about the 2-minute report this morning.
No, but they woke up. They walked into a buzzsaw and realized real quick this is going to be difficult. So in their minds, by the end of the first quarter, they're already thinking about what are we going to do in Minneapolis. He's got his coaches are already scouting. They're trying to tread water, but they weren't trying to win last night. They had given up the ghost. And sometimes that's a good thing. Just we're going to plan. We get another hour of practice while we're playing.
You got us.
The other side was the Pacers. They had them. They had them on the road. They had them with 4 minutes to go. They had them hitting a big three and slip. Whoops. My bad. Bad call. And it got away. And I'm not sure the Pacers can play much better than they played last night.
I don't think that they can either. But I also don't know that you can expect 43 from Brunson every night either.
At what point do we not? How many games in a row has he done it? This guy is doing things that honestly, the first quarter last night, after I had a terrible night and predicting last night, I was patting myself on the back because in the back of my mind, I keep thinking at some point this Brunson thing's going to end. At some point, somebody's going to figure out 2 guys on him or nobody on him and let him go get 60 and nobody gets nothing else, or don't let him get crap. And nobody's figured out that yet. But eventually, I feel like they will. I'm starting to think they're not gonna. That it's just going to be 40 and 10 every night.
It's entirely possible. I still don't. Maybe I'm slow on the uptake with Brunson because I've always thought he was a good player. I never thought of him as like a take over the game player. Like
neither did the Mavs.
No, they didn't. But now people are like best Nick since some are saying since Ewing, some are saying before that. Like getting into players that I never saw play live.
Yeah, but the Ewing comparison is for people that never saw Ewing.
Settle
down.
Yeah, but it's if they say the best Nick since him.
Well, I think that'd be
since
fair.
Ewing. It's
that'd
like
be fair.
Who are you gonna like? Now Carmelo probably ends up having a better career than Jalen Brunson, but Carmelo as a Nick wasn't doing things like this.
No.
Like he wasn't. He certainly wasn't winning playoff series after playoff series. So, it's an interesting thought. Like, how good is this guy? But I keep thinking it's going to come to an end. I just don't want. I don't want this to be decided by something other than what we're seeing on the floor, and I don't want there to be discussion the next day. I don't want us to have to sit here and talk about who should have won that game. It just doesn't seem right. When there's this much on the line, officiating has to be better than what it was last night.
Do you, we saw as a Bill fan, leagues see a mistake or see a problem, and especially when it's a populist problem, when, wow, if we'd have just had a chance to see him play, let's go fix it. I get the sense that bit of touch or kick is going to be a reviewable thing from here on out. That's such an easy fix.
I mean, in college, it's under 2 minutes.
It can be under 2 minutes in the play. I don't care.
In the playoffs, it has to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In the regular season in May, we'll talk about it later. Last night, we had to get that fixed.
It's one of those things. It's like the Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes game, where as soon as you see a game get decided by something like that, you say, there's got to be a better way. Let's figure out what the answer is. And it might not be perfect right away. And that's okay. But it's got to be better than we can't take a look at who that ball's out of bounds on. That's crazy. In the last minute of a playoff basketball game.
No, we can't look. Sorry. No, we can't
not
look.
Reviewable.
Sorry. Can't look.
What? I mean, what's the point of having all these cameras if that's not reviewable?
But if we can't figure out over and back, we can go back and look at that. And you'll get to look in that camera. I love the fact that they make the refs, whenever they go to the challenge and they have to look into the camera like they're looking into my house. We're going to review. Like, okay, man, thanks for telling me.
The thing, this is what I hate the most, is that play that we're talking about, the out of bounds play, is not reviewable, but they will review so many things that might be a flagrant one, might not be. That's just such a giant time suck. Like, if it's not obvious that it's a flagrant
at that point, that's judgment. Move on, man.
Yeah.
Move on. We will figure it out
later. But like, did his elbow go up above his armpit? I don't know. But like, literally something that decides the outcome of the game in the last minute. Can't take a look at that. It's not within our rule set to look.
So we add to we add the things that can be fixable by replay.
Maybe subtract some.
I also think, I think there's always room for that. But I also think that there should be some kind of room for exclusion. Like, you know what? I'm not going to play with that ref.
Okay, so like
a strike. Like high school coaches get a chance to. I'm not going to. This guy and we don't get along. Every time I'm on the road, this guy doesn't like my style of play. I don't like him. He doesn't like me. There's no reason we should ever be in the same gym together.
I'm no Chris Paul fan or supporter, but I also understand. Like, now it's because at one point you could have said maybe it's coincidence.
No, it was
the Chris Paul Scott Foster
Yeah,
thing. It's like he shouldn't be refereeing his games.
Even if he was trying not to, he hates him so much he can't help it. He's going to make the call.
It's not going to change.
So I think there should be strikes, and maybe, just maybe, in a situation like that, add another ref. Maybe there should be one on every corner.
I mean, when in the World Series, there's a second base ump, there's a right field ump, a left field ump. Like, umps that they're not in a regular game, but when the games matter more,
it just
you got to figure something out.
Because last night shouldn't happen.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Rob's got a complaint about Waze.
Oh.
And I'm sure there's some of you guys sitting in traffic right now who also have complaints about Waze. We'll talk about that on the other side. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
The fact that you walked out this morning and didn't get in a Connecticut shower, I'm surprised you even started your day the right way. I'm going to ask you a question. Do you love your water? Do you love your water? When you take a drink of the water coming out of your faucet, do you love your water? Because if you don't have a Connecticut, you don't. And if you do, you're loving the wrong stuff. See, us Connecticut water softener owners, we know a couple things. We know when we step out of the shower, there's none of that, that limestone, that grit that you see on the bottom of your faucet. That's not in my hair. It's not on my skin. You'll never see it on my glasses coming out of the dishwasher. And most importantly, it's not in my pipes, because that's what Connecticut does. You never plug one in. There's not a motherboard or anything like that. It works on kinetic energy. I don't know. It's science. get yourself a Connecticut, and the best way to do it is have one for free, right? The Knippa's been taking care of San Antonio for a long time, and they got an offer for you. If you'll call 656-PURE, 656-PURE today, they'll come out and put a Connecticut in your home, and for 90 days, you'll be just like the rest of us smart San Antonians. You'll see what I'm talking about. And on that 91st day, when you decide, like I did, to become a Connecticut customer, you're going to get an ironclad warranty, the likes of which you're not going to find in this business. That's what Connecticut is. Quality for San Antonians. Call them today at 656-PURE. Go to the website, ConnecticutSA.com, for all the details. Sing it while you type it. Get yourself a Connecticut, baby, and thank me later.
San Antonio Sports Star.
GiveMeTheVin.com is America's best car buyer, paying top dollar for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. What are you waiting for? We want to buy your car right now. Find out why thousands of satisfied customers across the United States put more money in their pocket by going to GiveMeTheVin.com. I told my buyers, let's get them bought. Right now is the time to go.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Don't let pain keep you from doing the things you love. I'm Dr. Jason Garrett from Arasti. At Arasti, we fix pain fast. Whether you've been living with chronic and nagging pain for years, or if you've recently experienced an injury, our goal is to get you out of pain as quickly as possible. Arasti is completely natural and non-invasive. Plus, Arasti accepts most insurance plans. There's a location near you. Visit Arasti.com. That's AIRROSTI.com. Arasti, we fix pain fast.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind. They're at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
If you're looking for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance, we're Term Provider, experts in finding affordable term life insurance for those that may not be in perfect health. Prostate cancer, heart conditions, high cholesterol, or on prescription medications, you may still qualify for $500,000 to $1 million or more of affordable term life insurance. Call Term Provider at 800-337-4168. 800-337-4168.
If you need bold banners to boost your business, but you're on a budget, think Staples. Posters, flyers, signs, and menus for less? Think Staples. Staples can print anything you need to move your business forward. Now at Staples, save $50 on your print purchase of $150 or more. Same-day service available on hundreds of items if you order by noon. And all backed by Staples' Print Perfect guarantee. So it's done right or it's printed again free. Staples, your local print and marketing expert. N61, visit staples.com/print for details.
For the last 4 decades, San Antonio sports has dared this community to dream big through the transformational power of sport. For 40 years, we've inspired youth to get in the game, motivated San Antonians to live healthy, been a force behind places to play, and hosted events that impact. As we celebrate 40 years of dreaming big, we invite you to dream big along with us. To support our mission, donate today at sanantoniosports.org.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
I like this intro. This is the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I like this intro because it makes me feel like I'm in an 80s skateboarding movie or something. Why'd you turn it off? I mean, that was the... Oh, that was it? Play it again. Can we do that?
It's on a loop.
Yeah, it feels like...
what's it called? Gleaming the Cube?
Yeah, something like that. Like, it's one of those movies where it's like, you like the kid's a badass, like an 80s badass. So he's got like, I
picture Matt Dillon, excuse me, when you say that.
Big sunglasses on and, he can do an ollie. I guess we'll have to wait till tomorrow to hear that song again. That's unfortunate.
He can do an ollie.
It's a rotator.
Okay, so tune in tomorrow at what? What are we going to go with, 7:18? If you want to hear that badass song again.
Because it's a rotator, AJ.
Yeah. I wish I had some say around this place and I could just.
Well, it's in when it's a rotator, it gets stuck in the scroggin, and you got to pull up the nardinals to get the rotator back, and it's just a whole thing.
There used to be a time where the radio show host could say, "This is what I want," and now it's a rotator.
Oh, AJ. Oh, AJ.
Now it's a rotator.
It's a rotator.
Boy, I wanted to. We're going to get to this Waze discussion, but I wanted to ask you have you seen the video of C.J. Stroud and Micah Parsons in Tokyo throwing out the first pitch at a Japanese baseball game?
Come on, yeah, it was unfortunate.
These are world-class athletes. There's no mistaking.
This is our game. You're going over there. They think they're pretty good at it, and they laughed at you guys.
Yeah. It's funny when this is the reality of jitters and like the digital world, the social media era. No one wants a guy who throws one of those first pitches. Have you ever thrown a first pitch? I'm sure you have.
I have. I threw a strike.
Yeah, I've done it a couple times.
See, but I'm not a baseball player, and it was at a minor league game, and I won't say there was a lot of velocity, but I was getting it to the plate. It wasn't going to bounce.
Got over the plate, and that's what matters. And CJ's,
he's got quarterback delivery.
I don't know, but you could see the hesitation.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't want to throw it.
Didn't want to overthrow it.
His looked. I don't think it was a curveball. I don't think he had a curveball grip. I think it was a lob it in there and please don't go over his head, and it didn't. It was debatable if it was a strike or not. Parsons, he hesitated too much. You saw a couple pump fakes, and he spiked it. He didn't spike it like where it's not like the most embarrassing thing ever, but it wasn't a good look.
What was more embarrassing, the pitch or his brief stint with the skinny sumo wrestler?
I'll be honest. I'm not going to talk smack about that because even the skinny sumo wrestlers,
I'm sure they're tough as nails.
That's what they do. That's their whole life. Like, and I don't know like what level of sumo this guy was. He might be like a first day sumo guy. I think based on his underwear, like based on that costume.
I think that's how you get like your costume is your grade, right?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
So the fact that even though he's small, Parsons was able to move him around.
Kinda.
It's impressive.
Kinda.
He got him out of the ring. He beat him.
He did. And but I felt like he's our best. Where's the dude?
Where's their Yokozuna?
That's it. Yokozuna. I was trying to find the word. Where's that guy?
I always think like NFL players who think, I could go do MMA and be good at, like, we've seen it, tried, and it's not easy. Greg Hardy tried it, and Greg Hardy, when he was fighting bummy guys or women, he looked pretty good. But as soon as he got in there with like some dudes, it was like, you're starting to realize this ain't as easy as it looks, pal. Being a good athlete's not enough.
These guys do it for real.
Yeah,
man.
this
You're
is
just
like
trained for it.
They've been doing it their whole life.
Yeah.
Austin Lane, the former, he was with the Jags, like, and he's in the. I don't know if he's still in the UFC because he shouldn't be, but I think about the fourth time in a row he went in there and just got laid out, and he, like, you could tell this is a world-class athlete. You don't make it to the NFL if you're not like the elite of the elite, but fighting someone's just different, man.
I saw Ed Too Tall Jones after he was this Cowboys career as a kid, and he wanted to box. So he's like 6'9", and I watched one of his early bouts in Dallas, and he's got the classic boxer's pose, and the real boxer just came in and just kind of just touched him up all night long. I don't think Jones ever landed a punch. I mean, it's a different game. I don't care how tough you are.
All right, let's talk about your trip in.
And this has happened too much. I'm a Waze guy.
I am too.
Because I like the crowdsourcing side of things. I appreciate the people.
I like to tell you the cops are coming.
Yeah, I like that. I'm not always a good updater. I do my best. I try it when I can. But
CarPlay helps. Like, it's like, is that thing still in the road? I just push my CarPlay.
Yeah, I'll help. Yeah, I'll help. But I'm not the guy that'll tell people like, hey, there's a stalled car or a cop. I'm not very good on the helping part. But I do acknowledge.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah, and when they shut down highways, I figure overnight enough cars, and there's other Waze users that have gone and been stuck in the same route I am. I know I'm getting up early. There's not the same volume, and I know overnight they shut roads, but Waze should tell me that, right?
Yeah.
Why doesn't it tell me that? Waze people, why doesn't it tell me that the highway's been closed down?
I thought that was the purpose of it.
I did too. And, one of the things
that's why I switched away from Google Maps to
exactly,
Waze.
Because people will tell you, hey, there's a cop, or there's a faster way. This is the way we do it. And maybe that reroute will eventually happen. And I, in fact, have helped in the rerouting. I have gone and done stuff and said this route, and, you help people. So
did you do it today?
Not today, because my Waze, that evil bee, kept lying to me, kept trying to get me on a highway that had obviously been closed for hours. And it just go up to the next exit, Rob, and then get right back on. 1604 and I-10 was closed. Not just closed to where you couldn't go from I-10 onto 1604. The intersection was closed. And there was no way to get from I-10 that would be heading east into town to the other side of 1604. There was literally no way. Even the frontage roads, side roads, all that were all closed. Yet my Waze, that evil bee, kept telling me. So she cost me like 20 minutes coming into work this morning because nobody had updated it.
And the worst part is, if you're like me, whatever your Waze says when you start your trip
ruins my day when she beats me.
Your goal is, no, I can beat that
every day.
And I didn't beat mine today. I come in on 35. And what I don't understand, and listen, I'm new to town. I'm not trying to crap on San Antonio.
Feel free, man. We're not happy with this.
But the idea that like there's a 3-mile stretch where there's construction, and then there's a break for a mile, and then there's another 2-mile stretch with construction.
They're saving the hard part for last.
Like, how about you take the 2-mile stretch, guys, make them work on the 3-mile stretch and just double time that, and then go down to the next stretch. Let's do one piece at a time.
Oh, AJ. It's
just
on the tick list. The tick list that they have to follow.
I don't like it, man. I don't like it. I don't like when like major highways, even at 4 a.m, shouldn't be down to 1 lane. Like, if it's a 4 or 5 lane road, stop it.
I get, but you can't just shut it. You got to give me a route.
Yeah.
You can't just say, you know what? Sorry.
Got nothing for you, man.
You can go 8 miles that way.
You can take the helicopter.
You can go 8 miles that way, but this way, no, we're welding. Right.
Yeah.
They sent me on Waze, and obviously truckers use Waze, because Waze had me exit. For those of you who have taken that ride, I took the frontage road on 1604. And then it had me get on Military Highway. And, Military Highway up there, they're doing a bunch of construction. So it's down to 1 lane as well. So Waze took me from closed down highway to a road with only 1 lane. And it also told every trucker within 100 miles to also take that same route. So to get to the stoplight.
And they're like a residential.
Oh, right there, residential area. And to get to the stoplight, there's only 5 trucks, but that's 100 yards. So you're sitting in the stoplight for hours because the trucks can't even make it through the stoplight. And there's no other traffic. Just run the light, bro. There's nobody coming. It's a cross street.
Here's the fix. I really believe this. We need to accept that roadside construction jobs are dangerous jobs.
I accept that.
We need.
Yes, sir.
No, I don't. You accept it to a certain level. I'm talking about we need to normalize roadside construction jobs being as dangerous as like Alaskan crab fishing or offshore roughnecking or whatever. Like, there's a good chance you could die when you go to work today, and we can pay them accordingly. Mm-hmm. But we, like, instead of giving them 2 lanes of space, we give them half a lane. And listen, you're going to be working right up against it. You don't get 2 full lanes anymore. You get a half a lane buffer between you and cars. You got to work the same. You got to do the same stuff. You just don't get this giant safety zone because it's too inconvenient for drivers. So instead, we're going to up your pay. Like, those crab fishermen make a lot more money than people who are fishing for shrimp in the Gulf because it's dangerous. You got to pay. You pay.
How much do matadors make?
I don't know, but it should be good. It should be good.
That's good money, and you'll be a hero if you do get hurt. It'll be a heroic.
Yeah,
I mean, you're working next to a highway.
And it can be like rodeo, like when you get the gold buckle if you ride for 8 seconds. It's like, man, you did something real dangerous. Here's a gold buckle.
You fixed the pothole, and we didn't even have to close traffic down.
You finish the job. You get a gold belt buckle. You get hazard pay.
Golden orange vest.
I think that's a good idea. I think we're on to something here.
That's the champ.
And I don't know if construction workers may, like, if you say, oh, screw construction workers,
no,
we can't let them be safe. No one's saying that. I'm saying we make that job a much more dangerous job, and there's a chance that some construction workers are going to get hit by cars.
But I do expect
we're going to pay them for it.
I expect completion in about at least half the time. At least half the time.
I think so.
It's a bonus to that.
I think so. I mean, to me, pay them better, make their job more dangerous, get traffic flowing,
and make a TV show about them, and then it's worthy. Then you aspire to it.
Yeah, Discovery Channel be like Ice Road Truckers they've got a show. Like you know what never in my life will concern me driving a big rig on ice, but construction workers on I-35. You got a whole show about this. Look, get these guys some money, baby. But some might die. Might die.
If you
and Mark says we wouldn't be dealing with this if people would stop moving to San Antonio. I think he's talking to me. He's like, so he's saying is my fault.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see that.
I mean,
all right. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk more about the Nuggets Timberwolves series. And I'm of the belief, and I think Rob's going to be on the opposite side of this. I think the Minnesota Timberwolves can win a title here. Like, I think they are that kind of a team. We'll talk about that next. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, let's celebrate. Who would have thunk it? Victor Wembanyama is the NBA Rookie of the Year.
You got to honk your horns all the way to work. We're talking about that. Defensive Player of the Year gets announced tonight. He's not going to win that. We'll talk about the games. Plus, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you are a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you are a family member and needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Former CI officer Jason Hansen here, inviting you to a special financial briefing this Thursday. As a former CI officer, I protected my country and family from threats for decades. Now I recommend that all Americans guard their financial security from threats to the U.S. dollar. During this exclusive summit, you'll get top strategies for safeguarding your wealth and creating a bulletproof financial plan. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today at 800-741-GOLD to register for free. Again, 800-741-GOLD right now.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Febreze Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric
Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Are you stressing about your IRS tax problems? Have you received notices from the IRS threatening to garnish your wages, levy your bank accounts, or seize your property? You need an ally. Allies Tax Relief has tax attorneys and enrolled agents that are ready to fight for you. They have saved millions for taxpayers just like you. Allies Tax Relief can help put a stop to IRS collections and, most importantly, negotiate your tax debt. Here's Brenda, a happy client of Allies Tax Relief.
I owed the IRS around $57,000, and they're about to start garnishing my paychecks. I heard a commercial on the radio about Allies Tax Relief, so I thought I'd give them a call. After a day, they were able to at least stop the garnishments, and after a few months of negotiations, I walked away owing the IRS only $301.
If you owe the IRS, call Allies Tax Relief right now for your free consultation. Call 800-230-5174. 800-230-5174. That's 800-230-5174.
Whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 40th, she deserves more. Shop tons of stunning on-trend jewelry for every budget at Diamonds Direct. Diamond fashion jewelry, beautiful birthstones, everyday pearls starting at just $200. Commemorate the real loves of her life with a gorgeous pendant featuring the birthstone of the one who made her mom. This Mother's Day, Diamonds Direct has everything you need to say thank you. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Corey area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
NFL lives right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
All right, 7:37 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This is the brand spanking new Morning Huddle.
Speaking of 737, doesn't Boeing have? Did they get the rocket off the pad? Did you hear about this?
Oh no.
Boeing finally was gonna. They're real close. If it had it, that's for our crack production staff. Did the Starliner take off? Use your stuff. We sent some people into space. Use your stuff. We sent some people like pilots into space.
Use the interwebs. Find out.
Anyway, yeah, Boeing. You said 737 struck me as Boeing.
Yeah. Well, that was just what time. Now it's 7:38.
I blew the whole thing. Sorry. I got it anyway. I'll get out of the way.
That's all right. Sorry. We're gonna talk about what American soldiers will do for love a little bit later on. As a couple guys.
We don't want to go there.
Who used to once be one.
I was gonna say. I've known some American soldiers that did some pretty awkward things for love.
We'll see if they beat this guy. The Denver Nuggets, the defending champs, who I don't know anybody who, as good as the Western Conference was this season, and it was so much better than the East, I don't know anyone who was not favoring the Nuggets to win the West. Like it still felt like it. Okay, and maybe it's because the two other teams at the top of the pile, and really, like if you look at the Final Four, if you will, in the Western Conference, three of them are teams that are not the usual suspects. They're not teams they're not the Lakers and the Warriors and, the teams that are always deep in the playoffs. If the Nuggets were in the Final Four of the West with LA, Golden State, and Phoenix.
But you wouldn't be saying LA, Golden State, and Phoenix. You'd be saying Steph, LeBron, and KD.
Yes. But there would be people would be trying to make different arguments for who could get out of it. Because it was the three new kids on the block, young teams that, well, I don't know if Dallas is a young team per se because Kyrie's a million.
No, they're not young.
But young, new to
they're
this,
average.
new to this round of the playoffs.
Yeah, they're
certainly.
average age and they're new here.
But even if it was the Clippers, there'd be people who'd be like, well, Paul George, Kawhi, if they get hot. But because of what's there, people are like, oh, it's Denver. And Minnesota, I think, is the team to beat now in the Western Conference. And it's listen, 2-0 deficits, they can be overcome. The Golden Knights were up 2-0. They won 2 road games in Dallas, and now they're fishing. But it just seems like.
Why do you think that? Is it because
I think the Timberwolves are built to stop them?
That's it. It's because the Minnesota team just seems to have an answer for every question Denver poses.
They are a matchup problem.
Mm-hmm.
Denver knows how to play one way, and it's Jokic just has his way around the basket. He makes your bigs look stupid. He gets them in foul trouble. And the problem is Minnesota's got bigs who are as more athletic than Jokic, but are athletic enough to defend him and not get put into bad situations. And they've got multiples of them. And especially when Gobert comes back, they're going to have another body to throw at him. I think that the Timberwolves not only are going to win this series, I think the Timberwolves are absolutely capable of winning the NBA title. I don't think the Celtics are as unbreakable as anybody thinks they are. I know the Celtics at home are like this unstoppable animal, but guess who else was thought to? I mean, how many home games did the Nuggets lose this season? 8, 7, something like that, and they just got waxed.
But this is a world championship team, and the way you become a world champion in the NBA, you very rarely have the one-off. It takes, you get close. Denver had to get close, fail, get close, get hurt, get close, fail, go finally beat the nemesis, take the step, then win the title. That's normally how it works, unless you've had the superstar arrive. Minnesota, the reason we didn't look at it, because they haven't done the steps yet. And I still believe.
But the superstars arrived, Rob.
Maybe, and that might be the answer. And this might be the arrival as we're watching. But I refuse to say that this is over. Jokic, that wasn't him last night. At least for sure it wasn't in the second half. That guy was mentally gone. This guy is one of the top 3, if not the best basketball player in the world, probably the best all-around player I've ever seen. And that's another thing. They're not going away. And anybody who thinks that this is going to be 4 games, it ain't. It's not. They are not. And if they do collapse like this, I'm not sure that franchise can rebound in the form that they're in. I don't think you could go run it back.
I think somebody moves on, and it's not going to be Jokic. We know that. One of the guys I worked with in Vegas, who's like our NBA expert, NBA betting expert, and he's very good. He is a Chicago guy. Like he grew up in Chicago. And he says Jokic is the best player since Michael Jordan in the NBA, which is like, I mean, it's a bold statement. Certainly 99% of people aren't going to agree with it, but there's some analytic things over the last couple of years that you can make a good argument for it. Like the PER and things like that.
And there's things that Jokic is asked to do that no NBA player was asked to do in the 90s. So yeah, I get it.
I just don't know if we're going through a phase where this type of player can dominate, or because eventually, doesn't it feel like as good as he is, eventually there's going to be someone like him, but with high level athleticism. That
he might be living in San Antonio right now.
He very well. I mean, that's a good point. Like, what's stopping? I mean, other than positionally, they're going to be different, I think. But what's stopping Wemby from being like the athletic version of Jokic, and he ends up being better? I think it's entirely possible. But I think that it's a lot harder to solve guys that are incredibly high-level athletes on top of whatever their game is. You know what I mean?
Well, the way that the NBA,
like Giannis,
the way you just brought up, Michael, and the game that we're playing today is so far away from the game we saw in the 90s. And the crux of the argument today is officiating because of what we saw. Well, back in the 90s, the whistle was rarely blown. You got to do a lot of stuff, and you can say let them play or let them foul, depending on how you want to define it. Now you're allowed to. Wemby is allowed to dribble the ball. Back in the night, you think they were going to let him dribble the ball down? They were going to come knock him off the dribble. They were going to forearm shiver him. They were going to hit him with a hip. They weren't going to allow him to do this, and the rules allowed them to do that. So now you can be a Wemby and dribble the ball up the court because nobody's going to put an elbow in your back and push you off your dribble. You can't. You're not allowed to do it. They're not going to guide you with a guide hand on defense like I was allowed to do and just push you off the dribble if you're not capable of it. So what he's allowed to do is going to be only defined by how the rules are applied. And when we have the referees, okay, the game's different now. The freedom of movement is the attitude now. So every now and then we go, call everything if it restricts the movement, call it. And then we get to the playoffs and we go, well, stop that.
Yeah.
Stop doing that.
Well, playoff basketball is different.
And you swallow the whistle, and you can argue whether let them play is let them foul. You can define that however you want. And that gets back to the argument today. The refs are kind of in a difficult spot because the league's saying, we want guys to get 50 every night. Somebody needs a 50 burger every night. And how many 50 burgers did we get this year?
When I worked in Houston, this was Rockets fans hated that I would say this, but this was the truth. The reason why James Harden's game never worked in the playoffs was because James Harden's game is so whistle dependent.
Yes.
It's put your head down, get in the paint, throw your arms up. Sometimes the ball goes in, but whatever happens, you're getting to the line. And the refs let things go. And it's like, it's hard to adjust.
Given the way it's called, the Denver Nuggets could be dead in the water.
I really think they are. I mean, I think this is an important thing too. And I'm not saying this just because I think Denver is broken. I don't know that they are broken. I think that they're running into a team that is a really bad matchup for them. And I think we're talking about a Minnesota team that we're going to be talking about for a couple years. And I'm going to go ahead. This will be my first hot take on the Morning Huddle, other than construction workers should be paid more to put their lives on the line. Minnesota Timberwolves are going to win the NBA title. I think that Anthony Edwards, this time next year, it's not going to be like a conversation of, is Anthony Edwards a superstar? Like, Anthony Edwards is going to be a superstar in a month.
I think he's already there, man. Last night, I think we're going to see a tidal wave of Anthony Edwards.
They send the Nuggets home. I promise you, it's going to be a wave. And it's funny, like sometimes a team wins a title and you say, okay, this guy's the next big thing in the NBA. And sometimes they lead up to that or live up to that. More often than not, it's like, okay, he's a great player. He won a title. Like, here's the question: Is Giannis going to be like an all-time great, or did Giannis win a title and he's going to be a solid player in the league? But is Giannis going to be like one of the 20 best players of all time when he's done?
Blake Griffin. Could he turn into Blake Griffin?
Could it be?
This is a very important time for him, for sure. I mean, in the next 2 years, we're going to see exactly what Giannis will be in the long term.
2 years ago, didn't we feel like Jason Tatum was on the precipice of being like a top 5 player?
And I think he is. I think right now he's out of sight, out of mind. They dispatched the first round. Let's not discount what Boston is. I mean, I think tonight we're going to get another. Oh, wait a minute, Boston is still here and still playing. They've just been watching because they are executing other teams.
We used to say this all the time, and at some point we got away from it. In the 2000s, it was like the Western Conference was so much better than the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and the Lakers would arrive refreshed out of Hawaii, just ready to take on whoever just been beaten to death out of the East.
But whoever won the East, we didn't take them as seriously because, okay, you won the East.
Well, but it was a knife fight to get out.
Yeah, but it was. I'm not going to say what you've said that's gotten you in trouble before, but it was like, who's the tallest short guy? But everyone knew that the Western Conference was where it was at, and I think it's that way. Like, if you would let's think about this. How far down the outside of the Celtics, where would the next best Eastern Conference team be seated in the West?
It's 5th. I think we did that little playthrough.
But I'm saying, I know, just by record, but I'm
even
saying
close as far as
if
talent
they played
for
a
talent,
Western Conference schedule, where would they be?
By the numbers, the closest we could come up with was 4th or 5th, and we're talking about dealing with Phoenix at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, so would you have taken the Bucks or Phoenix? And I think I would have taken Phoenix.
Probably.
I mean, especially knowing that Giannis is banged up.
Yeah, given the injuries, probably I would have. That is the issue with Boston. I think they've been out of sight, out of mind. They're very refreshed and they're very confident. This series is not over. I'll tell you, I will be amazed.
The Nuggets series?
It's
over.
If he chokes, if the Joker chokes like this, there's no coming back from this, because he checked out and got beaten by a dude that's 4 inches shorter than he is and got out-rebounded, outworked. That's not going to happen again. And if it does,
I really think
his coach fired.
We should have realized this after they won the title last season, when Jokic said the things he said about the parade. I just want to get out of here. I want to go home. He does not have the drive.
He's not a 10-man. I'm not going to accept that yet. I'm not going to accept that he just quit. I'll accept a bad game.
I'm not saying
he
quit.
Just checks out, dude, there's no coming back from that.
I'm not saying he's quit. I'll say this. Jamal Murray throwing his heating pad on the court. Like, this is baby stuff that it to me is like, it shows it's petulant, and it's like you're beat. When you start behaving like that, you are beat. And I think mentally they are beat. And it's funny you said something yesterday that got me, and I was thinking about it last night as I'm watching the Nuggets get their bleep pushed in. When you said they're like I don't forget how you said win equity but
they were profit taking.
Yeah, they were playing with house money basically. But you could also look at it from this this other standpoint. Pardon me. The Denver Nuggets just won an NBA championship. If the Nuggets don't win this year, it's not like people are going to say, "Oh, this whole thing's a failure." This isn't like the Golden State Warriors where it's a dynasty. They won one time.
Yeah.
It's a real possibility that they had a good run, and that was that.
One thing when we're talking about the MVP. And, I don't know how much adversity that he has ever really dealt with. Granted, second rounder, non-drafted, working your way in. That's one thing.
Who's the reigning MVP?
Isn't it him?
No.
Luka, sorry.
No.
No, he's gone. Embiid.
It's Joel Embiid. Yeah. What happened?
But Embiid, what I'm talking about, I don't think that Joker's ever been in this situation. I don't think he's ever been where he had been humiliated, he'd been beaten and battered, and the reason they lost was him. And there's no getting past that. We lost because you had 16 points and got outworked by Karl Anthony Towns. That's why we lost. And I don't think he's ever faced that before. I don't think he's ever had to deal with, I'm the reason we're not there. And if he doesn't answer the bell, everything we said yesterday is going to come true. That this game isn't that important to me. You know what? I can go back home, make a third the money, but be a superstar and not have to work nearly as hard, and the money will be worth 3 times as much. He could leave. That was so humiliating. It puts a question for the rest of his career, and if he doesn't back it up with a decent game.
I wonder. I don't know. And I mean, you're right. He played terribly, but I mean, Jamal Murray was no better, and him handling it the way that he did.
It starts at the top. When you're stud, and your coach lost it too. Your coach lost it, but he was in defense of his players. When Joker checked out, that was the key, and everybody followed suit with him.
The Denver Nuggets currently are 4-1. You get plus 400 for them to win the series.
Still,
I don't think it happens, man.
It's not over yet. I still think there's 5-6 games in here, but I can't imagine the ramifications of a Nugget collapse like that.
I'm not saying they're going to get swept. I'm saying the Nuggets aren't winning this series. I'm saying that there's no Nuggets dynasty coming. The Nuggets won the championship last year. Good for them. I think the Timberwolves right now, at least from a head-to-head standpoint, the Nuggets they are not a good matchup for this Timberwolves team. They're in real trouble. I'm stamping it now. The Timberwolves are winning. If they don't win the whole thing, they're winning the West. We'll talk about more of this on the other side. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jim Rome. Have a take, don't suck on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. KTFM Floresville.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Need a new dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you one of the nearly 10 million families that own a timeshare? Unfortunately, many families stuck in timeshares have learned the dark side of ownership, as their timeshare ends up being nothing like they were promised. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. If you were lied to when buying a timeshare, you're going to need help. I know this because I once worked as a timeshare salesman, but quit the business and made it my personal mission to help folks get rid of bad timeshares. That's why I put together a timeshare exit information kit to help you understand how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation. Over 30,000 families have trusted us to get rid of their timeshares. Many started out by simply calling us for the free information kit and are now timeshare free.
To get your free information kit, call Wesley Financial now. Call 800-837-1919. That's 800-837-1919. 800-837-1919.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. $5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama was unanimously named the NBA Rookie of the Year, receiving all 99 first-place votes. It's only the 6th time we've had a unanimous winner. Wemby led the league in blocks, which is why he's also a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year, although Rudy Gobert is expected to win. In the league, the number 2 seed Knicks held off the Indiana Pacers 121-117, the game marred by several unfortunate calls. Jalen Brunson's 43 paced the way to a 1-0 lead. The Timberwolves go up 2-0 over the Nuggets. They beat them soundly 106-80. Anthony Edwards and the Big Cat each scoring 27 points. Tonight, the Celtics and Cavs will play game 1 of their second-round series at 6 o'clock. The Texas Rangers beat the Oakland A's 4-2 in game 1 of their series. They continue today, first pitch at 2:37. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio.
It is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman, joined by Rob Thompson. What a morning it's been, Rob. What a morning.
One for the ages.
We've been talking T-Wolves, Nuggets, and a series that
stunning.
I see. I'm not that stunned, I guess. I don't know. I knew this was going to be a hell of a series coming in. It was a good series last year, and then the Timberwolves were shorthanded. You know, we mentioned some guys who, and I think Naz Reid seems to be a favorite of yours.
I really like his game. I really like
and
his
him
game.
being gone last year. I think that matters. I don't know, man. I just think Anthony Edwards is like a skyrocket right now.
Don't forget, there's one thing that Minnesota can't shoot. They haven't had to shoot so far. And if I'm Denver, I go, well, the one thing I know that they are not is a bunch of jump shooters. So I got to build a wall. I got to build a wall.
Karl Anthony Towns can shoot.
No, you're right. You're right. There's a lot of problems with this.
And you know what?
That's the only way they come back.
Look at Anthony Edwards, because the knock on him when he came into the league was kid can't shoot, and he couldn't.
Well, he had to learn.
He's learned though, man. Like, and that's part of why I think his game has been elevated.
I will tell you this.
You're a believer
when
once
Minnesota
you see it,
loses, he will be the reason.
Anthony Edwards or Karl Anthony Towns?
Karl Anthony Towns.
Okay.
It's when and if. I just question the guy. And he could prove me wrong. Porzingis brought me back. But for a couple years, I thought, unicorn, he's a lot of stuff. Karl Anthony Towns has a tendency to check out of games. He has a tendency to overthink his ability and skill set. And this is a team that, when it comes down to it, there's not any jump shooters on this team. There's a lot of scorers, but there's not a lot of shooters. And if I'm Denver, I go, okay, the one way I know I can slow you down is I'm going to make you shoot. There ain't no paint buckets coming. And I'm going to get somebody on Karl, and it won't be Joker.
But that's also the thing about being an elite defensive team is you don't have to score a million points to win. And like you know what the T-Wolves don't have to think about? How are we going to stop them from scoring? They know how. Like they stop everybody from scoring. That's what their game is.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know if Denver can turn that. And so far in this series, Denver can't shoot.
No, they can't. And here's another problem. Jamal Murray's going to get fined if he doesn't get suspended. He's not going to get suspended in the playoffs. But you throw crap on the court, he's going to get fined.
What a baby.
And that's the other part of this. Man, you got to get your brain right. You guys, that was an embarrassing outing for everybody involved with the Denver Nuggets.
That's
and
not championship stuff right there.
When was the
a champ.
last time you saw a team melt down like that? You're not good enough to be that arrogant.
Hurt me. You can't hit me. I'm trying to take a shot.
You can't be that arrogant.
Imagine when the Spurs were making their run, they have a bad game and Tony Parker throws something onto the court. Like it would never happen.
Yeah, that was so un-Nugget-like that I refuse to admit or accept the fact that is them. They are not the 10 men. And if Jokic doesn't show up, man, you want to talk about needing a heart from the Wizard. Come on, front runner.
Is it possible that we saw the Nuggets win a title and we all said, wow, they're the next thing?
It felt like it.
But maybe they're just not. Maybe they just won a title one year. Like the idea that everybody's going to be the old Spurs or the Warriors, that every champion is going to turn into some like dynastic thing is not realistic. Those are so, and that's what makes them amazing. The Bulls, the Spurs, the Warriors is they don't come around very often.
We all want parity until we come down to this.
Yeah.
We want everything to be fun in the regular season, but everybody wants the Death Star. I want something that everybody's trying to blow up.
Yeah. And I think maybe this isn't it.
It could be.
I just saw it in hockey. Like the Knights, I thought they had a good chance in that series against Dallas, but everybody's like, maybe they were just good for 1 year,
AJ,
and it's possible.
The history tells us that just by the process that it takes to win in the old school of basketball improvement, that Boston should be the next. They've done everything that is appropriate to winning a title. You get close, you lose. You get close, injury gets in your way, coaching, this and that. You go through some turmoil, and then you have the year that Boston had. And then not only did they have the year that they were supposed to have, they've had the playoffs that they're supposed to have. So let's not forget about where Boston is.
Let me say this. I agree with you. Generally, that's the way it works. But the Houston Rockets of the last 7-8 years, like the Harden era Rockets are a good example of this. Sometimes you're real close a lot and you're just a loser. And think back. Here's a good example. People don't think about this, but during the Bulls run, that 8-year run where the Bulls were like kings of the NBA world, probably the most consistent second best team in the Eastern Conference was the Indiana Pacers.
Yep.
They never won a damn thing.
No.
And they were always knocking on the door. Sometimes the door just don't open up for you, man. And it's possible that the Celtics, the door just never opens up for them. Door never opened up for those James Harden Rockets. I don't know. And here's something that I'm not sure, and this might not be fair, but I'm going to say it anyway. I don't know if like Jason Tate, I say this a lot. I don't know if Jason Tatum's a dog.
Well, we're going to find out. This is the year that they have to. I mean, literally, if you could turn them into the Pacers, they could turn into the Utah Jazz. They could turn into those teams.
Yep. The Jazz are another, the Phoenix Suns.
At one point, you just go, yeah, this was a good run.
They were close.
Just
never
not
did
going to
it.
happen. But a lot of those teams had an excuse, and it was Michael. Is Anthony going to be that guy? Is the excuse now going to be, well, it was Anthony Edwards, man. What are we going to do?
Yep.
We're playing Anthony Edwards.
And I think we're going to get to that. So I'm buying into this team. I'm buying my Warrior stock, or not my Warrior stock, my Timberwolves stock now, because I think it's about to be out of price range, Rob. I'm suggesting you do it too.
No, I got to put it 3 games. I got to see 3 before there's a put coming.
All right. Well, it's going to be in Minnesota. I was going to say, I wonder what the line will be for that game, but I'll tell you, Timberwolves 4.5-point favorites.
I think it's going to get a little tighter. If you like that, you better jump on it now. There's going to be some Denver money.
I think there will be Denver money too. That's just the way the NBA, the way NBA typically works is if a team's up 2-0, that team that's down comes back. But usually the team that's up 2-0 is going home.
Yeah, this is why this is so screwed up.
It's shocking, man. But we'll get into that game a little more later. We're also talking today about Victor Wembanyama, the NBA Rookie of the Year. Shocker. Victor was, I think Victor, let's face it, he's a humble guy. I think he knew that this was coming, but I think it was important to him, and he talked about that a little bit last night.
I mean, my goals were always to help my team as best as I could and get better as the year went on. And I knew that in order to do this, I had to be individually good on the court, and dominant. So it was a huge thing for me and a big thing to get. So it's always been really important, and I'm glad it's finally official.
Finally official. Have you ever seen a Rookie of the Year T-shirt? We've had 2 Rookie of the Years here in San Antonio.
3.
Now 3. I don't think I've ever seen a T-shirt. I've never seen a Rookie of the Year shirt, and Wemby had one. It was like, it didn't kind of get leaked. Like the Academy down on the South Side had a rack out with the Rookie of the Year shirts before it was announced. I'd never even seen the shirt before.
And you know why you hadn't?
Yeah.
There's a reason.
It's kind of like buying the Western Conference Championship shirt.
Yeah,
you never want to wear it.
Do that.
You either win the title or tuck it away. You don't want to be.
The reason why is because there's not a lot to cheer for right now, other than individual awards.
Okay, let's go with this. Would you ever want to be the recipient of the Most Improved Player Award? Which tells me that last year you were either god awful or went through something terrible.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Like you're back amongst the living.
But I know there was a lot of LSU fans this year that were like, Jaden Daniels has to be the Heisman. Like it's not a discussion. He's the Heisman winner. And I thought there was good arguments to be made for a couple people. I'm also of the belief that, especially for the Heisman, wins matter. Like,
yeah.
And I know it, like they lost a lot of games because of their defense, but it's like, go win some game. Look, Jaden Daniels in the biggest games wasn't there, but the LSU fan was so rabid about him being the Heisman because their team wasn't that good.
Right.
In a year where maybe if they'd won 12 games, he would have been the Heisman with a bullet, and it wouldn't have been a discussion. But they were like, we got to get this, and it was so important because there's no team accolade and right now for the Spurs, there's nothing to be pumped about with the team.
It's all we got.
So it's like, give me that Rookie of the Year. And I've heard a lot of people, and I don't know how much of a discussion this has been here on the station. I'm sure it's been, but I guess there's a lot of people here who think he should be the Defensive Player of the Year.
The numbers bear it out. I mean, at least for the argument's sake, the numbers bear it out.
I mean, I think
I'm not sure that he is, but he's certainly in the top 3. You know,
I don't think there's any question of that. But like I've heard some people say, like, basically kind of downplay Rudy Gobert as a defender. I'm like, this is probably gonna be his 4th Defensive Player of the Year. It's no mistake that this guy is the Defensive Player.
Here's my retort to that. This is the least defensive NBA since the 70s. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So to be the Defensive Player of the Year over the last couple of years ain't saying much.
But here's where I disagree with that. Because he's playing on a team that prioritizes defense, and maybe you can use that as an argument against him. Like, how many other great defenders are on the floor with Wemby?
I don't buy that argument at all. He's the anchor to a great defense, and there's a reason why there's a great defense, because he is the anchor. So I won't buy that. And if
they weren't, they don't. Outside of Anthony Edwards, they don't have the offense to let them be carried as an offensive based team. They're good because their defense is elite, and he's the king of that castle. So I think there's something to be said for that. But yeah, I didn't know how much argument there was about that.
Now the other side of that, for the argument on Wemby is a 94-foot defender.
Yeah.
And
I agree.
And Rudy's not. And that's the only separator. And everybody said, and they're right, hey, Rudy got his 4. He's done. I hope he enjoyed the ride, because the bus is coming to an end. The bell's ringing, he's stepping off, and Wemby's stepping on.
Yeah,
and I think
probably right.
There was a lot of reason to give him that. I mean, that era's done. Wemby's here. Take your trophy. And thanks for playing.
But I think it will also be, how does San Antonio develop defensively as a team? Because it's hard to argue that the best defensive player is on a bad defensive team.
No question.
And I think and I agree with that to an extent. Like, if you're the best defender in the league, how is your team a bad defensive team? That doesn't make any sense. Otherwise you say you led the league in blocks. Here, congratulations, you're the blocks leader.
And if Wemby was playing with, I'm trying to think of my favorite offensive coach in the NBA. Let's Carlisle. Let's say if he was playing with Rick Carlisle, who is also a very good defensive coach. But if he was playing for a coach that only did offense and focused that, and Wemby was getting 30 a night, but all the other stuff he was giving up, we know that Pop's a defensive coach. So the expectation is he's only going to get better defensively because the history has shown us that everybody that walks through San Antonio leaves a better defender. So the expectation is the improvement is there. The coaching is there. The guys around him just weren't there.
And this is a discussion for a later time. Certainly not week 1 in San Antonio for me, but I think there's a discussion to be had about Pop and what the same kind of discussion you can have about Bill Belichick now. And it's how much of it was who you had and how much of it is you. And I'm not trying to say that about Popovich, but I do think it warrants some discussion
Pop will be the first
someday.
What did he say just a couple of weeks ago? How do you become a Hall of Fame coach? Draft Tim Duncan and hang on for dear life. He will be the first one to admit it wasn't me, man.
Okay.
It wasn't me.
Because Belichick, it's certainly like, I think if you put Belichick on a lie detector test, he believes that it's probably 60-40 him. It's good. It's nice to hear that that's not the philosophy.
You
for
don't
Pop.
win this many titles without knowing I'm the damn best coach in the world. You just don't do what Pop did and has done without deep in the recesses of your mind going, Tim wouldn't be Tim but for me. David wouldn't be David but for me. And listen to me. But he's always been the type, look, draft him and hang on. And keeps his player happy.
We're going to talk about Wemby's season and how it stacks up against some other seasons in NBA history. And Rob, because he's elderly, has a deeper knowledge of this than I do. So I'm gonna compare him. I'm gonna say when Wes Unseld was the and we'll see what Rob thinks of those
overhand
things.
Outlet pass.
Yeah, we'll be right back. It's 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz, let's celebrate. Who would have thunk it? Victor Wembanyama is the NBA Rookie of the Year.
You got to honk your horns all the way to work. We're talking about that. Defensive Player of the Year gets announced tonight. He's not going to win that. We'll talk about the games. Plus, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at on San Antonio Sports Star.
Don't pay retail for your diamond engagement ring or gift. Come to CleanOrigin.com. Founded by a leading family in the diamond industry for more than a century, we're experts in lab-grown diamonds because that's all we do. Clean Origin, the only diamond jewelers who give you a 100-day, no questions asked return on your purchase. Head to CleanOrigin.com or one of our retail stores and mention code Radio10 for 10% off your purchase. That's CleanOrigin.com, code Radio10.
Former CI officer Jason Hansen here, inviting you to a special financial briefing this Thursday. As a former CI officer, I protected my country and family from threats for decades. Now I recommend that all Americans guard their financial security from threats to the U.S. dollar. During this exclusive summit, you'll get top strategies for safeguarding your wealth and creating a bulletproof financial plan. Call my friends at Advantage Gold today at 800-741-GOLD to register for free. Again, 800-741-GOLD right now.
Paid for by Advantage Gold. Performance may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Always consult your financial and tax professional.
Febreze Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. 0318.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collisions since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney, an attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Pork rinds pack a protein punch and are the boldest low-carb snacks out there. Skip the chip and try Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds for that ultimate crunch. And with flavors that will have you craving for more, the time to stock up on Southern Recipe at H-E-B is now. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds. Be big, be bold, be adventurous.
Whether it's her first Mother's Day or her 40th, she deserves more. Shop tons of stunning on-trend jewelry for every budget at Diamonds Direct. Diamond fashion jewelry, beautiful birthstones, everyday pearls starting at just $200. Commemorate the real loves of her life with a gorgeous pendant featuring the birthstone of the one who made her mom. This Mother's Day, Diamonds Direct has everything you need to say thank you. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion. Online at diamondsdirect.com.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This is the Morning Huddle. I'm AJ Hoffman. He is Rob Thompson, and we been talking some hoops today. And Victor Wembanyama winning the Rookie of the Year, 21.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, 4 assists per game, and also happened to lead the league in blocks as a rookie. Pretty strong showing. There's a list on NBA.com of the best rookie seasons in NBA history. And Victor Wembanyama checks in at number 10. And people are going to say, that seems low considering the numbers. I kept hearing he's the only player to do this, this, and this.
And he was.
He was. But part of when they made this list, it was statistical achievement or statistical output, achievement, and impact on winning.
And that third one got him.
And it's like a lot of it, there's like plus this. For him, impact on winning, 0. And we've talked yesterday, that's not necessarily his fault. He was not unleashed fully I think by design. But the truth is, he hasn't impacted wins yet. The assumption is, and I think the correct assumption is, the wins are coming. But this is just not a talented team. And to that point, typically the best rookies get drafted by the worst teams. That's the way the whole system's supposed to work out. But there's been exceptions. Tim Duncan's a good one where guys just showed up in magical situations, and Tim Duncan will hear higher up on this list. Shaq comes in at number 9. And if you asked me, if you said, AJ, in all the years you've been watching basketball, what's the rookie year that you remember being the best? That's the one for me.
Was
92, 93 Shaq is my number 1. And again, I'm not going to act like I'm young. I remember Magic and Bird and Jordan. I just don't remember their rookie years. I was a kid, so I don't have that brain in me to say, oh yeah. And I was a kid when Shaq was too. I was like 12 years old, but I was at least functional enough and a fan enough of sports to know what I was seeing. Jordan comes in at number 8.
because his rookie year wasn't. I mean, the numbers were good, but he was not quite there yet. It was his. Remember, he broke his foot his second year.
Yep.
And then he came back and he had the 63-point game in the playoffs versus the Celtics. And that was the moment he became Michael. That rookie year, he was really good and the expectations were coming, but it was a little bit of the Wemby. The Bulls weren't that good.
Yeah. And I think that's what held him back a little bit. His impact on winning was plus 11, which you'll see is pretty like Shaq's was plus 20. The guy ahead of him, Larry Bird, is plus 32. So I think that's part of it. But it says here, Jordan and Oscar Robertson, the only two rookies ever to average 25, 5, and 5 in a season. Larry Bird, number 7. Number 6, Tim Duncan, 97, 98. And I think, and you were the first one who said this. It's not me being like a non-San Antonio guy. You said he fell into the perfect situation.
Absolutely.
Like, Shaq was basically, he was the Orlando Magic. The Orlando Magic they weren't even a franchise really before they got Shaq. Tim Duncan fell into a situation where they put him next to another elite player, and just it was a perfect recipe. His impact on winning plus 36. I would argue that the return of David Robinson was pretty impactful on that as well. David Robinson comes in at number 5. His impact on winning plus 35. And now here's a question. Do you consider David Robinson's rookie year a true rookie year? Because
there was a lot of debate for that.
Okay.
The one difference between him and
he wasn't
Chet,
with the team.
Yeah, he was working on a submarine. I mean, the guy was standing on a naval base. So,
yeah.
Well, he was working out. But for the most part, he was putting on a uniform and looking pretty. So, no, he wasn't a true rookie. And certainly, he was even older than that. I mean, we're talking about one of the oldest rookies ever to walk in and do this.
Now, I think of these top 4, I don't expect you to remember any but one, and I want to ask you about this one. Number 4 is Kareem, 69-70 with Milwaukee. He was second team All-NBA, 29 points per game, 15 rebounds per game. Kareem is just incredible to me. Number 3 is Oscar Robertson, well before
legend. Sure,
Yeah. Who's going to argue with it? By the way, 30 and a half points per game. He was 0.3 assists from a triple-double average his rookie year. That is pretty incredible. Magic Johnson, number 2. Now I know you remember this.
Absolutely. There was zero turbo lag for Magic. He did everything at Michigan State, and he was exactly that the moment he stepped on the Laker court.
Now, remember, this is best rookie seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Magic Johnson, who we're saying right now had the second best rookie season in history of the NBA, did not win the Rookie of the Year award.
Right.
Instead, he had to settle for Finals MVP, which I'm sure he was okay with that trade-off. But incredible, and that's a conversation about Larry Bird being a rookie versus Magic. Okay.
Yeah, that's, again, a different time. And Larry played a very – he was also not necessarily a rookie. You know what I mean? He'd been drafted.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
Prep and all that. It's funny when we look at that list. Shaq, we knew he had changed the game. The moment he walked out there, we're going to have to change the rules. And within 4 years, they did. The 3-second thing, we can't do this anymore.
Well, and that's why, number 1 on this list, which we didn't say, is Wilt Chamberlain.
Yeah, but again, that's like a Game of Thrones giant. Yeah, that's crazy.
That at the time was an absolute cheat code, and the NBA was not prepared for someone like Wilt Chamberlain to come in and do the thing. Like, Wilt Chamberlain showed up day 1 and was the best player in the league. Like, he was the best player in the world, and he was playing against a bunch of 6'5" white guys. Like, no wonder. Let me give you the stats from his rookie year.
It's
37.6 points per game, 27 rebounds per game. He was the MVP his rookie year. Shocker. This is, it's never going to happen. This is 27 rebounds, 38 points per game is never going to happen for a rookie in NBA history. It might never happen for a player in NBA history.
It doesn't even
again.
happen in high school, man.
But I mean, that was a different era. Like competition level said a lot about it. But Victor Wembanyama amongst some elite company, and it got us to thinking, who are the rookies of the year that they had that award? Nice job, and we don't think Vic is going to be this. But sometimes it doesn't work out. And Ben Simmons is one of the guys who, rookie of the year, I don't know that anybody looks at Ben Simmons as like a top 30 player in the league anymore.
He's not even top 100.
It's debatable. I do think now part of Ben Simmons is the expectations of his position, because he is a guy who the position he plays is not, he doesn't meet the expectations. Kind of like Wembanyama, just in a different way.
It's kind of an ill-defined thing that he was supposed to be.
Yes, but I still think there's a place for a guy like him on your team if the expectations are right. I think he's an elite defender. I think he's got something to him. It's just when you play that position, you have to be able to shoot. And
you have to be at least moderately offensive-minded if you're going to handle the ball.
But in my memory, because you asked me this, who's like the most disappointing rookie of the year? The guy that jumped out to me was Michael Carter-Williams. And he was, I don't even think he was a top 10 pick. I want to say he might have been, he's right around there anyway, but he won the rookie of the year in a soft draft class. That was the Anthony Bennett #1 overall year. I don't know. I mean, Giannis was in that class, but Giannis wasn't Giannis yet. Gobert was in that class. And again, these were Euros in a time when it took Euros a little time to develop. Maybe the best American player to come out of that draft was like Victor Oladipo. So let's just face it, it's a bad draft. But he had an 8-year NBA career. So it's not like he was a total bust. It's just.
But if you're rookie of the year, the expectation is you are going to become a cornerstone for your franchise.
And most often they tend to do that. Malcolm Brogdon, I don't know if he's a cornerstone.
He's
guy.
been moved a couple of times. You know, he's not. And that's
Scotty Barnes. I think there's still some TBD with him.
But he deserved it.
I agree.
No question with him. There's time for him.
Tyreek Evans. I don't know if he was a cornerstone guy. He's a good player. He could ball.
Yeah.
And then one of my favorite rookies of the year who didn't have the career that he should have was Brandon Roy, but that's all injury. Like, I still think Brandon Roy, had he had a healthy career, would have been one of the best players in the league.
We talked about him. We didn't say he was Jordan-esque, but we did look at Brandon Roy as one of those guys that was going to come out and be a top 5 player and a face of a franchise for a long time, and it just didn't work.
All right, we're going to hit a break. On the other side, I want to talk about this new Spurs arena, the possibility of this Spurs arena, and what's holding it back, and why is everything so hush-hush? Because it feels kind of nefarious almost. And I want to know what the hell's going on. As the new guy in town, I want to know what's going on and where my tax dollars are eventually going to go to.
Some of us can't talk about it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if we're allowed to. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Spring has sprung and it's full tilt boogie time at GiveMeTheVin.com. I'm overpaying for cars because I think they're going to go up even higher from where they are right now. We'll pay off your payoff. We'll pick your stuff up. We'll quote you quick and easy at GiveMeTheVin.com. America's best car buyer. Go there right now, and if I don't beat a CarMax offer, I'll send you a check for $100.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149. Sherry, what have you done to your hair?
What do you mean? Does it not look good?
It doesn't look good. It looks freaking amazing. I can't believe how thick and healthy it looks. Oh, I must know your secret.
No secret. It's hair volume from New Nordic.
Hair volume, huh? Well, it certainly lives up to its name. Your hair has never looked so thick. It is gorgeous.
I was so tired of having thin and brittle hair. Ugh, and the shedding. So I figured I'd give hair volume a try. Needless to say, I'm thrilled with the results. Hey, where are you going?
I'm going to pick up some hair volume right now. My reunion's next month and I want my hair to look as good as yours.
Hair Volume is the best-selling hair tablet in the world and one of many award-winning natural health products from New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Scandinavia. Purchase at newnordicusa.com or your local Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS. Available as a tablet or delicious gummy. Help your hair look full, voluminous, and beautiful again at newnordicusa.com, Walgreens, Rite Aid, or CVS.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-480-6932. That's 800-480-6932. 800-480-6932.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. This is the Morning Huddle. I'm AJ Hoffman. He is Rob Thompson. And we teased into this story, and you are, I mean, listen, you're old money in this town, baby. You've been around. You still don't know to turn your mic on, but you've been around.
Yeah, I've been around a minute. I need help. I'm older.
Yeah,
forgetful.
But it seems like so. The idea is to build a new arena for the Spurs.
They're due. It's time.
It's time, and it's also, let's face it, where the current arena is not ideal.
And yeah, that's where the story begins. Because let's think back to 20 years ago to kind of catch you up when the Spurs were playing in the Alamo Dome, and we knew we needed a new arena, and the city of San Antonio had been looking around, and exactly where the Institute of Cultures of Texan Cultures is now, where they're looking to build across the street from them, just on the other side of the street, was probably the most ideal location for it to happen. And our city leaders at the time just couldn't get their crap together. They just all couldn't get on the same page. So at that point, our then county judge stepped in and got the county, and they grabbed some county land where it sits today, and they got it built. Not in the ideal location. Keep in mind that this was Tim had become rookie of the year. We had a title under our belt, and there was still a fear that somebody was going to come buy this team and take them someplace.
Yeah.
And the Maloof brothers that actually made some definite overtures, and they're talking about moving to Albuquerque and some other places. So the city of San Antonio was facing this, and they got it done. And they came to the realization, okay, it's not the best, but it's the only, let's do it. So here we sit, now time to build another one. And that very same location is now available again, just on the other side of the street. Now, this is where it's the Institute of Texan Cultures. If you grew up here, you probably went on a field trip there. But it's a piece of land whose highest and best use is long past. I mean, but it is a bit of San Antonio's history. It was the anchor piece, along with the Tower of the Americas, to our World's Fair in '68, which for those that have been here that are long enough say '68 was the beginning of what San Antonio is today. We were a dirt track town up until '68, and the World's Fair changed us, and what we have become was because of that moment. So that part of our downtown matters. So here we sit. We knew it was coming. The University of Texas system had owned the land. They don't want any more, and they were acquiescing, and they were going to move the ownership of the property, at least control of it, to the city of San Antonio. And at that part, we knew that's where it's natural. It's going to happen. They're going to build it there. It makes sense. There'd been some talk about building the same arena in the parking lot of the Alamo Dome, in one of the parking lots, kind of like what we've seen in other places. And, we'll worry about parking later, but we'll build it there. This just seems the most appropriate place. So now NDAs are passed out from anybody who has any workings with this. We're no longer allowed to talk about it. And that is my concern. The transparency seems to be going away.
And do you think it's the city of San Antonio?
No, it's the Spurs.
Or the Spurs.
It's the Spurs. And you don't want your negotiations to play out, because the city this is found property. This isn't their land. It's been the University of Texas for a while, but it is, as far as valuable real estate in this city,
it's about as high as it gets.
There's no more valuable bit than that right now,
except apparently the bars right across the street from the Alamo.
All of those, which and be careful, because the city will just come and take those.
Let's build the stadium there.
Well, they tell us the Alamo is not as big as people expected, so there should be some room in the front.
The Spurs should just build on the Alamo parking lot.
Now, we were talking about this yesterday, and you brought up, is there any chance that the Spurs could lose, that the city could lose the Spurs to Austin? And my answer to you was yes, absolutely. There's a chance.
By the way, I asked you that off the air, because when we were discussing what we're going to talk about today, I was like, is it possible?
It is possible. But that's the relationship between a franchise and its city. It's always going to be a bit adversarial, because, the gross and, the money involved. For the Spurs to even be able to play in Austin, they had to come and ask, because they have a contractual requirement to fill the Frost Center so many dates, just as the Frost Center has a contractual requirement to be open for so many days.
Mm-hmm.
And for either one to back out would cause, a fracture in the agreement, and it would allow the Spurs to leave. Let's say if they didn't have a place to play, and by the same thing, if the Spurs decided we're not going to play there anymore, the cost of breaking the contract is a poison pill. It would ruin the franchise. So we've got the Spurs locked in. They're not going anywhere. But I can foresee a future where somewhere between here and Austin that happened. Not this building. We're talking 20 years from now.
Okay.
Right now, we're talking about downtown, and there's no reason to think it won't happen. But the moment things go quiet, the moment people go, well, we don't want people to talk about, you start getting worried. How much is the city going to give away on this?
What's the timeline on this? What's the, when is this? When do we want this arena done?
Well, the Spurs will tell you now.
Okay.
The Spurs will tell you the WIMBY effect
not realistic,
is real.
Right?
Well, no, I think we're ready to break ground here in the next year. I think we should be, if the Spurs don't already have an architect working on what they want next, they're not doing their due diligence. They need to be prepared. Once the city decides, we need to start moving. And I think we all realize that. But our fear is, I don't want to give billionaires any more money than I have to as the city. I know I'm going to have to give them something. Yeah. I know that's just part of being a citizen of the city. But once things get quiet and I got guys in back rooms making deals, I don't like that.
The thought being that and I get the Spurs want it to stay quiet, because the Spurs are probably asking taxpayers to foot
absolutely
X amount,
60% plus concessions or whatever.
And what you don't want, if you're the local team, especially you're the local team struggling, is to say, this is what we want you to pay to keep us around. The Golden State Warriors did it the right way.
They did.
It hasn't worked out for them on the court. And, San Francisco probably feels like they got ripped off because now the title window's closed. But they said, look how great this thing is. If you want us to stay here, you got to pony up. And San Francisco was like, we'll pony up. When you're at the bottom of the league, it's really hard to say, hey.
Especially after the last couple of years, the Spurs. I mean, it's very difficult to come to us and go, okay, now, for the last 2 years, we've won a total of 40 games. We're not even 500 combined. Yeah. So, and to come to us and say, we've got our guy now. We need a new building. Just like with Tim, we got our guy now. We need a new building, and we did. We got it done. It wasn't the right way, but the situation we find ourselves in now is so vastly different because San Antonio is no longer the city it was. We're a much more metropolitan city than we were 20 years ago, and the expectations of such things mean you got to pony up a little bit more than you're accustomed to. If you want to run with the big dogs, you're going to have to get off the porch. I get it.
And there is something to that. Like if you want to shed the image that you're a cow town, you have to start doing big city things.
Somebody's going to step up.
Which means have big, fancy downtown arenas, and that costs money.
And I think we're willing to foot some of that. We really are. I don't think San Antonians are that opposed to it. But keep us involved with the process. And I don't want the city and the Spurs to come to some kind of agreement that the citizens will go, no way am I paying for all that crap. What are you talking about? We're not going to give away the home. And that's my fear, is the Spurs have so much leverage with us right now. Wemby gave them so much of a hand because Vegas wants a team, and they're going to mention that over and over and over.
Vegas is going to get a
They're
team.
going to get a team. And wouldn't it be nice to the Wemby to show up in Vegas?
And
wouldn't
it? The thing that Vegas has is Vegas is always, it's like they're going to just charge other people. They're going to charge tourists for their teams. And like the A's stadium, and like there's people who are like, oh, this is bad for Vegas, for Las Vegas.
Y'all ain't paying for it.
Yeah, somebody else is going to foot that bill. Like the people who fly in is going to foot that bill. But San Antonio doesn't have the tourism, not to that level anyway. But here's my concern, and maybe a different conversation, but I think a very important question too. You mentioned that area of downtown. And that's my question.
There is some question that it could be deemed a historic site. There are some people that are, this was the centerpiece of the 68 World's Fair.
Listen, in Houston, there's a giant rat-infested, we're talking about combat-sized rats. Like
I didn't realize that's why it's still there. I didn't.
Because it's a historically protected thing. We had a vote.
We're talking about the Astrodome.
The Astrodome. Harris County had a vote. Do you want to keep the Astrodome? Do we want to renovate it? And the people of Harris County said, do away with it. Knock it down. Let's build something new. But some judge who's in love with that building was able to put a historic designation on it. And now it's there and it can't be touched. So every time there's like a Super Bowl or a Final Four, and they're saying this is the city of Houston, a modern city. It's not Houston had to shake that same thing of this is a metro city. This isn't like a bunch of hillbillies here. I don't think they had to shake it quite to the level that San Antonio's has to shake it. But when you're showing your new fancy or your new fancy stadium, and this is what the world sees, and the drone shot shows it, and then it shows like an old heap of crap next to it. It's not a great look. And I'm not saying
the dome is only 3 years older than
this building.
Yes, only 3 years older.
Listen, I'm of the belief that you have to evolve as a city, unless it's like a truly historic, like something like the Alamo is something that you're not going to tear down to put up an arena. Something that was built in the 60s. You can usually move on from those things,
And there are protections put in place just for that kind of thinking. We do need to preserve history, and I do see its place. But you're talking about evolving as a city, and sometimes you got to pave over something that mattered. You just do. And I think we've come to a point. I don't think that at the end of the day it's going to be the hiccup, but it will be used, I would like to think, by the city of San Antonio going, if we don't get the deal we got, we could just designate this.
But it's also the downtown area, when you build a new arena, can get a revitalization that is so huge for a city.
Okay, we've been promised that many times. And I think a lot of cities, they get promised the economic development. And, a city can foster that environment. They can provide tax incentives. They can provide good streets and good locale and, walkability and all that kind of stuff. But if if the businesses can't function, if there's no reason for them to be down there, but the 42 times they're down there, it's not going to work. And we were told, and we believed in our, minds that when they built the Frost Center down where, it's in a warehouse area in an old part of town where, there's just no reason to ever go there unless you work there or you go into the game. And I said, well, the economic development between downtown and the arena, they'll fill the streets, and not one ounce of it ever happened. You can project it, you can try it, but until you literally get the business people, the citizens doing it, it's just a pie in the sky promise with no guarantee that it'll even come close to what you hope.
And I know there's gonna, like, part of this backroom stuff is probably people trying to attach other stuff to a new arena, which whether it be like light rail or whatever, say, we're if we build the arena here, we can get light rail in, and that's going to cut back on traffic, blah blah blah. Because that's what they did when they built the new stadium in Houston, because it's not a downtown football stadium. Like it's a good ways from downtown actually, but they're like, well, we're going to build this light rail. No one uses that stupid light rail.
We have had you. It sounds like you've been sitting in the room. That's the discussion for the next arena. That will be somewhere between here and Austin, and light rail will, in fact, and has been, in fact, already discussed as the option for when it does land in San Marcos. How are we going to get there with traffic on 35? Oh, light rail, baby.
Yeah, take a trip.
No problem.
Or a toll road.
Oh, we love those too.
Oh,
yeah, we're good at those.
Oh, yeah. They built that one in Austin that takes you from South Austin, North Austin. You can avoid all the nonsense for $22,
and you get to drive by the whole of the largest building I've ever seen, that Elon Musk building that you drive by. Yeah, we love toll roads. I still get pink envelopes. I don't pay my tolls till it reaches 100. Just send me a letter.
You don't have a toll tag?
Wait, I don't know where to get one.
I think the internets have those.
See that? I don't use that.
It's one of those. Can you guys in that room use that computer thing? Get me a toll tag.
Type some buttons, but how often
you guys know how to do that?
That's the good thing about San Antonio is we don't do toll roads.
Not yet.
We will never do them. I'm telling you, we won't do them.
You think so?
No, it's not democratic.
Austin wasn't going to do them.
I'm just telling you.
It used to be Houston and Dallas is where you paid tolls, and then and in Houston, this is the thing that pisses me off the most about toll roads.
Houston.
Once the toll roads paid off,
they keep taking
it'll
money.
Become free. Now, Beltway 8 it's been paid off 10 times over. It ain't free. Because once the government finds a way to make money off of you, what are they going to do? Turn off the faucet?
No, that never
Come
happens.
on, man.
That's why it'll never.
On.
In fact, on my phone, I have it ticked avoid toll roads, because every time I go to Houston, before I know it, I'm pulling up to somebody taking a picture of my license plate.
I'm a disabled veteran, which I don't pay tolls. Like I don't have
Can
to.
you get by? Can you do that with
Yep.
you? Really?
Yep. If you're at a certain
I'm down. All right.
If you're at a
That's
certain
fair.
percentage, like you don't have to pay toll roads. So
okay. My first thought was, hey, but no, I'm down.
Toll roads and property taxes, that's where you can catch a break. So I'll take it.
No, I mean, every little bit helps.
Every little bit helps,
Every little bit
man.
of something.
Every little bit of help get this arena built. Would you be okay if they don't do it in that? If they don't do it in that spot, would you be okay with a Alamo Dome parking lot and then just build like a giant parking structure that
the assumption?
Both of those?
We were working on that premise for the last several years, so I don't think anybody would be too upset. But the parking would become an issue. But we'll worry about that later.
Now, this building that you're talking about, the historic building, this wouldn't affect the tower, right?
It would be directly underneath it. No, the tower is
but it would
sacred. It won't.
That one can't move.
No, that would never move, nor would they.
Because it's part of the skyline. It's part of the identity of San Antonio. this is a building that if you're driving through San Antonio, you don't even notice it exists.
You would see it from the highway because it's literally right underneath the tower, and it's got a rather unique brutalist architectural design. It's this concrete thing that looks like something that would have been used in the Planet of the Apes back in the 70s. It's just really interesting design, and that's why it would stay. It's a very uniquely designed building.
Could you make an arena that looked like that had some of that aspect to it?
You'd like to think you could, but
How cool would that be?
looks like it looks like one giant concrete block. It's a very interesting architectural period that I think a lot of the preservationists appreciate, not so much about the museum.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of Planet of the Apes, we're going to get into this later. I'm a big Planet of the Apes guy. I love these movies, and somewhere on our station, they're giving these tickets away. We got to get some of these, man. We got to, I'm going to go watch.
Are you down with Fandango, Coach? Because that's what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down with that. Because my wife's not here. So I can go watch a movie. I don't need her. I'll watch that. She doesn't want to watch Planet of the Apes. I do.
Not sure.
We're going to be right back. We got 1 hour to go here on the Morning Huddle. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Don't go away.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. KTFM Floresville.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T.
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text STAPLE to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text STAPLE to 321-321. That's STAPLE to 321-321.
When was the last time you went to the dentist? Hi, Jason Minix here. Go see my dentist at Smile Structure Dentistry and Braces. Smile Structure can handle all your dentistry needs, from general dentistry to oral surgery, orthodontics for the kids, or Invisalign for adults. Mention this ad, get a free exam and x-rays. Veteran owned with 5 San Antonio area locations. Learn more and book an appointment online at smilestructure.com. That's smilestructure.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code LOT to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code LOT for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama was unanimously named the NBA Rookie of the Year, receiving all 99 first-place votes. It's only the 6th time we've had a unanimous winner. Wemby led the league in blocks, which is why he's also a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year, although Rudy Gobert is expected to win. In the league, the number 2 seed Knicks held off the Indiana Pacers 121-117, the game marred by several unfortunate calls. Jalen Brunson's 43 paced the way to a 1-0 lead. The Timberwolves go up 2-0 over the Nuggets. They beat them soundly 106-80. Anthony Edwards and the Big Cat each scoring 27 points. Tonight, the Celtics and Cavs will play game 1 of their second-round series at 6 o'clock. The Texas Rangers beat the Oakland A's 4-2 in game 1 of their series. They continue today, first pitch at 2:37. I'm Rob Thompson for 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Yes, it is. I'm AJ Hoffman. Rob Thompson in here with me. The new Morning Huddle. People tired of me yet, you think?
No, we're not. We're exiting the cuddle. It's more of a huddle now.
What was the cuddle?
We got tagged with the morning cuddle there early on. You know, it rhymed. But this is more of a group effort, man. The brigade bar is popping.
Let's go, baby.
Let's
go.
Big huddle.
You sent me a story about Madonna.
You know.
Which what's your favorite Madonna song, and what's the best Madonna song, and why is it Like a Prayer? Because that's the only correct answer in my mind.
Like a Virgin.
That's your favorite?
No, man, I don't know.
You're not a Madonna guy?
I mean, you had to be in my day and age, or you're going to spend a lot of lonely nights. So
Okay.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Taylor Swift fans that are guys. They were not Swift fans. They're just fans of the girls that are fans of Taylor Swift.
I'm a Taylor Swift fan.
Are you a Swiftie?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I enjoy her
I'm
music.
sure that
I think it's catchy.
I'm not anti, and I wasn't anti Madonna, but she was
favorite either, but I do like that song Like a Prayer. For whatever reason, it just gets me bobbing my head.
That was a good one. She had a
tune.
series. She was the Taylor Swift of our day, but she was just a bit more sexual.
A bit.
Yeah, just a bit.
Yeah.
A tad bit more.
I think she's like the Nicki Minaj of our generation is more like it.
So, sadly, she is horrifying now.
Yeah. Man, if that doesn't warn you about things like Botox and veganism, I don't know what will. Like if you don't eat meat, this is what can happen to you. You don't eat dairy. You got to have a certain amount of meat and cheese. You need cholesterol in your life, or that happens.
Have you ever been to Brazil? You ever been?
No,
I haven't either.
So I trained when I was fighting. My team was all Brazilians.
Mm-hmm.
And my coach, I told him that I wanted to go down one summer and train in Brazil.
Yeah.
And he was like, he said, Wayjay. That's what he called me, Wayjay.
Uh-huh.
Never go to Brazil without me. He said, it's not safe for you. He said, people will try to rob, they try to kill, they try to steal your wife and make you pay. And he's like, don't go. And it scared me because like when you see Brazil, it's like, it's such a beautiful place.
Yeah.
And like, there are places in Brazil that look like they're incredible, but he's like, if you go, you come with me, but you don't want to be you don't want to be the American guy there,
and I would look like
by
an American
yourself.
tourist. I'd just stick out. So what was it? Call of Duty that I had to fight through a favela.
Yeah, it's
was
Call of Duty. Yeah.
So that's what I figured. But Copacabana Beach,
Modern Warfare 2, I believe, is what you're thinking.
One of them. The Copacabana Beach is a beach, right?
Yeah.
How can it? 6 million people?
No, I thought it was 1,000,006.
And 1 million, maybe at
did I read that wrong? I think it said like 1 million,
and the 6
with the number
that showed
6.
up late. Okay, so 1,000,006 people. Is there enough room on 1 million people?
Well, I mean, the nature of beaches is there's a finite amount of.
That's what I'm saying.
Unless they're standing in the water. Like, do you think there's people on the sandbar?
They told us that Madonna offered a free concert on Copacabana Beach, and 1,006 people showed up. 1 million?
I was thinking, like, I could picture if you were doing a concert in Brazil, if you did it on top of that giant Jesus statue
up there,
maybe you could have 1 million people. But I mean, I don't know. Like, again, I don't know what kind of sound system do you have to have?
And if you were there,
does
can
the
you
speed
say
of sound
you were really there?
Does the speed of sound actually reach you? Like, how long does it take? Like, she sings it, and like 10 minutes later, you're like, oh yeah, it's like a game of telephone.
By that measure, I've seen all kinds of concerts.
Any concert you drive by the stadium while
I
it's
was
happening,
there.
you're
I was
there.
one of the million that was there.
One
I
of the
couldn't hear
million
it.
closest people.
I was there. So if you were in Sao Paulo, I guess that's where it is.
Sao Paulo.
See, I don't have the Jura. Or wherever that was. If you live there, then by default, you were at the Madonna concert.
Huh.
1 million people were on the beach. Now, I've been to Fiesta. I've been to some crowds. I've muscled through some groups. 1 million people?
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Well, okay, so 1 million people. Let's just do the percentages. How many people do you think of 1 million gathered at any given moment are taking a leak?
Oh man, I mean, I guess you'd have to think about 2 to 3%.
Where's it all going?
Oh, you think they got porta johns?
You think they got 100,000 portalets on?
It's just going. It's
the
going.
sea
You go
level
where you
went up while she was performing.
The water got warmer.
Warmer. That's global warming. It's a Madonna concert. She made the oceans warm.
Murkier.
1 million people.
What's like the what? Give me a couple of your concerts that you've been to that you're like really into.
I'm not like Minix. I don't follow bands, but in my day, I was a U2 fan, and I've seen U2 perform in
I've seen U2
a couple of different places. And the biggest concert I ever went was a U2 show, and I was a long way away, but at least I could see them. I mean, at least I was in the same building. I wasn't 6 blocks away and said I was there.
I'm trying to think. I saw U2 in the Sphere.
See, I'm jealous. I cannot believe.
And I don't even like U2, to be honest.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Most people went and saw him, had a friend that loved them, and they went along
That's
with
what
them.
I did. My buddy was like, you want to go? And I was like, okay.
Minix went and did it. And he's like, U2, you know. I was like a boniac, whatever you want. I thought he was walking on water back in the day. Not seeing the Sphere, missed it.
Man,
that's a bucket list squandered. They got to come back, right? They'll make
I think
a triumphant return.
There's only so many bands that can do that show, that venue. I think the next, and I don't know if it's fully announced yet, but I know that the Sphere lately has had the Grateful Dead logo on it.
Oh, there we go.
I think that's what's next.
Now,
but it also doesn't feel like that fits. Like where are you going to set up your tents? Where
how they gonna pump in the patchouli smell? Well, what is your? Do you recommend the Sphere? I mean, would you go? That's a must go, or is it?
If you're going for a show,
right?
I think you should go. Like if you're like, should I go watch this band that I love play the Sphere? I would say yes. Again, I don't care about U2. Like I don't have any like attachment to them. It's on my like one of them. It's top 10 most incredible concerts I've seen.
Enhanced it. It took it to the next level. The likes of which.
Just the visuals of it are so incredible, and it makes you feel like you're kind of spinning around
Some
at
of
times.
the video is just astounding.
There's one point where Bono says, "We're gonna make the Sphere disappear," and the sphere, it almost, it looks like a curtain opening up, and you see the strip outside exactly as it would be like mapped out, and it looks like you're outside, like it's an outdoor concert, and Vegas is just behind you. I mean, it's unbelievable in that way. There's people I know who have gone and done tours of it.
Yeah, I know some people that did
when
that.
there's no show.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what would be cool about it. Like, I guess they probably do some sort of video or whatever.
Your mind, but not like.
But it can't possibly live up to a live show.
Now, is there talk about this thing going elsewhere? Because
they're going to build more of them.
I can see a band just touring spheres, putting together some kind of ridiculous show that would only play there because of the technology.
Well, it takes so much time and money to build the show,
right?
Like, it's not like you're just, plugging in a MacBook Chrome or MacBook Pro and saying, "Oh, watch this." Like, this is like it's
6 months stay.
It's got to be like you can't. No one's going to do a one-off show there because it doesn't make financial sense. Like, it's got to be an expensive process to put together a show for that venue. So you're going to have to be a band that can be supported over a certain amount of time, and it's got to be in a city where people will
pay for it,
go see it. Like, I don't know how many cities in the US could do, like, maybe LA could do one.
It's the 5 majors or 4 majors. I mean, yeah, it
wouldn't work in Chicago.
You don't think so?
No,
really.
I don't think there's enough people. There's not enough tourists coming into Chicago to support something like that. Like, the people of Chicago who want to see U2 would go for 3 nights, but nobody's like, I'm going to Chicago to see U2. They would go to LA,
right?
New York, I think maybe Miami. Like, that might be LA, New York, Miami, and
you don't think Houston
Vegas.
or Dallas could support something like that?
I don't think so. Because I don't think they're enough of a tourist destination to do it. And you know what would be smart if they were smart, instead of LA, I would say do San Diego. Because people will go to San Diego, people will look at that as like a destination trip, and it's less of a hassle. Because if you want, and also because LA is so much closer to Vegas, it's like
they already got that.
Yeah, if you want to do it in Vegas. Like, but also I don't know where the hell they would build it in New York. I mean, this takes up like 2 full city blocks.
I watched it get
3
for
city
2
blocks.
years. I felt like it took a long time.
I mean,
to
it's
get that thing done.
a thing, man. But it's very cool.
What's the best concert you ever been? And would it have been enhanced by that?
No.
Yeah.
I've been to a couple Rage Against the Machine shows that they put on, like the best live show, hands down, is Rage. And whatever you think about the music, like, there's like a feeling and a vibe to their shows live that, like, it's unbeatable.
You know it.
I went to I've seen Willie a bunch of times.
Oh,
and I was, you know what? I had tickets to a concert here in New Braunfels. It was Willie and Waylon, and Waylon Jennings died. It's like, what the hell? Yeah.
Well, you better catch Willie.
I've seen him probably 20 times.
Well, luckily you're right in the motherland. You got floors. You got floors here, and you're right in New Braunfels, right next to the home of all great.
We'll find some good stuff, man.
That's one of the great things about
where do the big shows happen here?
As San Antonio, we have not been a destination for tours, and we're still not primary A. We don't get all of them.
I saw ZZ Top here.
That's about the typical kind of.
I'll watch them again here. Come on.
We've always been a metal town. San Antonio was a hard rock town forever. Joe Anthony and Kiss, the legend that was. Yeah, Ozzy peeing on the Alamo and all that. We've always been a metal town. Because of our proximity to Austin, it's hurt us for a lot of years. Everybody went to Austin.
Yeah.
But as we grow together and we've started building appropriate venues, we're getting more and more shows. But we're not the first stop on the major ones. We still got to go to Houston and Dallas for the most part.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate.
Well, I don't know. Maybe
now that you're here, though,
maybe we'll do some fighting for it. Let's fight for some good shows, man.
We got a pretty building.
And who knows? Maybe
we might have another one.
Maybe we'll get another one. All right. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. I got to ask, you know what? I know we just spent a segment not talking about sports, and we'll get back into some sports, but I have an important question for you about your hygiene. and
or lack thereof.
No, listen.
We've been in studio together for about 8
yeah,
hours.
you're not smelly.
Okay.
That's an important thing that I'm looking for in a co-host. So that's good news. But I think as like we talked about you being a dipper, I think this is going to be very important to you. This question, and science says my wife is right about this. I want to know if you agree with her and science, because I don't like that they're on the same side, because I want to be against it. But we'll talk about that next. It's 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
I want to talk to you real quick about Twin Peaks. You've earned a little bit of a day out. It's Tuesday. The week is just beginning. But, man, Twin Peaks is waiting on you. Go get yourself one of them lunch specials. They're hearty, they're quick, and they're effective. They take care of the job you need. You're going to get good food. You'll be surrounded with good folks and a good place to eat. 4 locations just waiting on you. Head over there for the lunch hours. Grab something local. And then head back for all the happy hour fun that Twin Peaks offers. Twin Peaks is the party that you've been waiting for. It's the destination that you'll meet friends of like mind on a regular basis. 4 locations that I highly recommend. My home feels Days of All and I-10, 151 and 410, Loopland right there at right there at San Pedro. And a brand new one over on IKEA. The reason you head to a place like Twin Peaks on a day like today is, no matter what's going on, the TVs are going to be taking care of you. And this week is going to be chock full of fun as the conference finals are there. Go watch all the games. Champions League is on track as well. And guess what is happening on the 10th Tequila and Cervezas kickoff, Bourbon and Brews on Friday. You know what that means. Head over to Twin Peaks. The eats are spectacular. The drinks are always icy cold. But why do we go? It is so easy to say. It's those scenic views.
It's The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on The Blitz, let's celebrate. Who would have thunk it? Victor Wembanyama is the NBA Rookie of the Year.
You got to honk your horns all the way to work. We're talking about that. Defensive Player of the Year gets announced tonight. He's not going to win that. We'll talk about the games. Plus, Shireen Williams from Pro Football Talk. She joins us at 5:15.
The Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
George gets justice. In life's most challenging moments, getting the right help matters most if you've been injured. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers. With a track record of success and a dedication to their clients, George gets justice. George Salinas Injury Lawyers is not just a law firm. They're your support system. Get George at George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
This is the absolute worst time of year to be dealing with joint pain. You can't do the outdoor stuff that you love to do, like golfing, hiking, biking, jogging, playing on the beach. Hey, it's James Pledger with San Antonio Sports Star. Listen, don't go through the summer missing out on life. Call QC Kinetics now and find out how they can use biologics from your own body to give new life to your achy joints, like your knees, hips, back, shoulders. QC's regenerative medicine protocols can restore and repair that damaged tissue with no surgery, no steroids, no drugs, and best of all, no downtime. This is the future of medicine. Tens of thousands of QC Kinetics patients around the country are living their best life this year because they made the call. QC medical professionals are under the direction of Dr. Mitchell Shinecup, who is an orthopedic surgeon who became the future pioneer in regenerative medicine. He knew there had to be a better way. So call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation. 210-571-0318. That's 210-571-0318. 210-571-0318. Locations in Hollywood Park, Westover Hills, and New Braunfels.
We all expect our home to protect everything we love. But here in Texas, we don't expect the ways water is breaking down our foundations and damaging our homes. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is shifting. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Foundation Support Specialists. Make sure your investment is protected. Get your free inspection at foundationsupportspecialists.com.
You want another way to add excitement to watching the NBA playoffs? Jason Minix here. Let me tell you about Underdog Fantasy. It is a fan favorite way to play fantasy sports, especially playing the pick'em game, where you pick between 2 and 5 players to build your pick'em entry, and all you have to do is select higher or lower on player stats. If your picks hit, you can win up to 100 times your money. Endless projections to choose from. It is fantasy and it is legal in Texas. So get started by going to the easy-to-use Underdog Fantasy mobile app or go to the website underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with my promo code STAR and Underdog will give you a mystery special pick to use on your first pick'em entry and a deposit offer. Must be over 18 and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Again, sign up using my promo code STAR at underdogfantasy.com.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime.
It's showtime is literal. I got to get used to that, where it's like when he says it's showtime.
Is that what's the UFC call? It's
time.
And that's Buffer's brother, right?
It is.
Yeah.
It's funny. I think now Michael Buffer is Bruce Brothers' brother.
Yeah, pretty much. He's certainly not as busy as his brother.
Yeah, because now, I mean, Michael Buffer, he hardly does anything anymore.
But we can't say it without the bots finding us. But I can say it's time, right, without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
But the other one, the bot will find us, and there'll be
I think you can say it.
I've been told that if you say it, there might be a bill. It has been trademarked, and they will send you.
Let's get ready to drumble.
Something like that.
You can say that.
That sounds good.
And
we're
drumbling
drumbling all the time.
I'm a drumbler, man. Let's get ready to drumble.
How did you learn to brush your teeth? Who taught you?
I don't know.
I was just thinking, I don't know who taught me. I do it.
I don't know either. Yeah. And I was asking you how you do it. And yeah, I feel like you do the pretty standard way.
I do, and I'm not sure if it's because I had a film strip when I was in kindergarten, or my parents stood over and said this and this and this, or it was the
Who
dentist.
remembers that? I don't know.
I remember who taught me how to tie my shoes. I've been doing about the same thing for the same long,
Okay.
but I don't remember how I was learned how to brush my
I don't
teeth
either. But I mean, somebody taught me at some point.
Somebody, I hope.
The question is is what do you do when you're done? Like, what's the last step?
I'm a rinser.
For you.
I'm a rinse. No, it's water. I don't use I don't like
Listerine or
that
something?
stuff
Okay.
is like pouring battery acid in my mouth. I don't like it.
Sometimes I do. I feel like it's good for me to do that.
It feels healthy. You do feel, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like,
It makes you feel cleaner.
Feels like that steam comes out of my ears when I use that stuff.
So apparently science is now saying you need to stop rinsing when you're done brushing your teeth. My wife believes in this. She the things about my wife in general is there's certain things that I don't think we need to have a fancy version of, but we have a fancy version of. Like toothpaste is one of those.
What's your fancy?
We don't use Crest or Colgate. It's some toothpaste that she orders online that doesn't have certain chemicals or whatever, and it's makes your teeth stronger and whiter and blah blah blah, and you can't get it at just Walgreens. So, and I would say the name, I just don't know what it is. But I know it's I know she sent me down here with a couple tubes of it, and I'm sure that I'll be getting an Amazon delivery with more in the near future.
We use the standard blue stuff. I don't know what the blue, I couldn't name it. Could be Crest, could be Colgate.
It's
but
one of
been
those.
The same toothpaste. We've used the same toothpaste for as long as I can remember.
You got something you like.
I don't pick it. That's just what it is.
What if your wife one day sent home like some cinnamon flavored
Every now and then,
toothpaste?
that has happened where I've been on vacation and I'll just grab one, and it is a shock to the system.
It can be.
Yeah, and it can be. There's a grit factor that some have. There's a flavor factor that others have. There's a slime factor that some have. They're different for sure, and I know what I like. I don't know if I want it in my mouth after I'm done.
Well, that's what the dentists are now saying, man. When you're done brushing your teeth, leave, like, spit out, but then don't rinse. Leave it.
Isn't that
leave
like
that
not
little
toweling off after the shower?
Kind of feels that way. Like, and then you would think that like that would lead to bacterial
Yeah, like
growth
stuff
and
going
things.
on.
But it says that leaving a little bit on your toothbrush is the wrong way to do it. I used to, like, I would spit, rinse my toothbrush, and then go over my tooth, my
me
teeth,
too, because
like
it helps
with
to get
one
the
more
rest of that stuff
Passover.
off. It's to get that film off.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they're saying, nope, leave it on so it can do its job a little bit longer. So when you're getting these toothpastes that have like the whitening and stuff like that, it's a good thing. Now, they also say, again, and I've never done it this way, you should floss before you brush. That makes some sense,
Yeah,
I
it
guess.
does. I'm not anti
I don't
that,
do
but
it.
I'm not a very good flosser.
But it's not something I think about.
I have to use the little sticks.
But the it says fluoride, being an important ingredient in toothpaste, makes the enamel harder, more resistant to acids that cause cavities.
Sense. It does. I can't believe that we haven't been doing it, but this is a routine that I have been dealing with for quite a long time. It's, you don't vary we all have our morning routine, and it is to the minute. I can tell you when I walk into the bathroom what the plan is, how long it's going to take me.
Yeah.
Like if I know I'm going to shower and shave, 11 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's a process, and as long as everything's in its place, I'll be out in 11 minutes. And you tell me to vary it now?
Are you against it?
I'm not against it. I just don't think that I'm capable, because there's a mouthfeel with that stuff. I rinse it I rinse it because I don't want the soap in my mouth. There's a grit, there's a taste that I thought I was supposed to get rid of.
But maybe that's the toothpaste.
It is. And when you tell
But no,
me,
I'm saying maybe you're using the wrong toothpaste.
Well, like I said, I've been using the same stuff.
And you're not going to change that.
I have no control over it.
Yeah, you do. You're the man of the house. You're the king of the castle.
That's what
Rob.
I've been told.
The king of your castle.
The only thing that I have done to advance my dental care,
says the person who uses fancy toothpaste that I can't even name.
Your wife, she's taking care of you.
Yeah.
The only thing that I have acquiesced to is I no longer have a handheld. I have a rechargeable.
That's what I've got. Yeah.
Now
it gets my teeth so much cleaner. I feel,
and I feel healthier with it.
Yeah.
Now, I made the mistake of buying a water pick. Have you ever used a water pick?
I've not. My son has one.
That's a dangerous weapon because it pointed out it is a fast shooting water gun.
Yeah.
And
same with a bidet. If you're not sitting on it,
it is a Old Faithful fountain, and I've made that mistake more
you
than
have
once
one of
too.
those?
No, I don't have one, but
I do.
When in Rome, you have one. Oh,
Yeah.
you're awesome. When in Rome, though, you want to go see how well this thing runs. But if you have the water pick, if you aim it out of your mouth, man, you got an immediate mess. So I thought I was going to up my dental game and got the water pick. And my wife said, "Here, try this thing." I blasted that thing like a fire hose in our bathroom. The whole place was wet, and it was taken from me. Where you just kind of squeeze that tube into your mouth.
So she said you can't use the water pick
I made
anymore?
too big of a mess. She'd rather sacrifice.
Was it working
my teeth.
for you?
I only used it literally one time, and I could not. It was literally there's so much water as she packed it up. I've never seen
You
it.
got to do it in the shower maybe next time. Maybe that's
Well, do you ever use the shower? A little bit of water pick action with the shower?
I don't think I have. No,
I do. I lean into it. Little.
I think there's been
power
times
wash.
where like you have one of those nights where you have vomited or something, and you're
it's a good rinse.
You get a little rinse. Yeah, I can see that.
And when you dip too, it's a good rinse. It's a good wash it.
Is
out.
it? That's
You need
good
a little
advice.
Power wash.
I'm gonna have to start dipping, man. I gotta get in the club.
No, don't do that.
I'm you guys have sold me.
We do not. That is a shameful and terrible habit.
What's your brand over there? What's your brand of choice?
I'm a Copenhagen guy. It's the hard stuff, baby.
That's what I hear, man. That's like the black tar of the.
It is indeed. I mainline the stuff. That's the only thing I ever dipped.
Is it? Do you use like is it Copenhagen flavored, or is it like to use a mint or something like that?
Copenhagen is its own distinct flavor. And then there's Skoal has the wintergreen and
so there's only one flavor of Copenhagen.
Copenhagen is Copenhagen. You won't find it in any other thing.
Now, have you ever used like Red Man?
When every kid growing up has put a little bit of a thing of Red Man in their cheek, and
that
act like
seems
a real
like the
baseball
most
player.
hardcore stuff. Like
you haven't? You never had a chaw of Red Man?
No, I used Skoal once before a football game, puked everywhere on the field, and I decided I don't like this very much.
And everybody, if you go back like the idiot I was, because everybody throws up the first time.
And in the military, everybody does it. Like, because especially in like my job in the Army, I was in the infantry. You like when you're doing ops, you can't smoke because it creates it's light discipline. So you can't have so everybody dips, and I was like, yeah, this is vile.
It's
like,
vile.
You guys
It is a horrible,
but
awful thing.
But I think smoking is vile too.
But yeah,
like and smoking is. I'm less offended by dip because I don't smell it.
But I don't walk around with a jar of my smoke.
That's true.
You know what I mean? You can't. Once the smoke is dissipated, it's gone. Other people walk around with a cup of their saliva.
Gone. No, you're at least keeping it contained.
Well,
with the smoke you're putting everywhere.
Well, a little breeze is gone.
No, I mean, imagine you were smoking in here. It'd be all in your clothes. It'd be on my clothes. It'd be everywhere. You share it. I don't want you to share your stuff with me.
Well, I mean, it depends on what I'm smoking.
All right. When we come back, we are going to hit the daily lines, and we're going to wrap up the program,
which was met with great approval. Yes,
people like
lots of good feedback on the lines. I think we might have made some people.
We got a couple of them today, so we'll hopefully we'll make some more money for the people today. It's the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Do you wake up this morning in pain? Is there something keeping you out of life? If there is, stop. Listen to me. Arasti's out there, and they're there to help. Arasti providers are all around San Antonio, highly trained medical professionals with one job in mind, and that's to get you out of pain. And it's the way they do it that is so absolutely unique and successful. See, this is not about surgery. It's not about pills that'll dull or hide the pain. It's about your body fixing itself, and it's remarkable how well it works. I've had lower back issues most of my adult life. About 8 years ago, I staggered into an Arasti provider and didn't think there was an answer. And before you know it, I was back in the game. And it took me only 4 visits. And I'm normal. That's the average to getting their patients back in the game is under 4 visits. And it's how they do it that is so spectacular. Because not only did they fix the problem, but they showed me why it was happening and how I can fix myself. I want that for you. So if you're living in pain, I want you to remember this, that Arasti providers are ready for you right now. You don't need a referral. Make your appointment. Write this number down. It's 1-800-404-6050. Or you can go to Arasti.com. It's spelled AIRROSTI. Arasti.com. There's a great map there, a good list of tips and tricks, but use it. Listen close. Don't let pain keep you from doing things that you love. Arasti is there. Call them today. Get yourself fixed. And when you do, I want you to thank me later.
94.1 FM, San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, it's Rob Thompson here for my favorite game app. It is Prize Picks, America's #1 fantasy sports app. Heck, I'm just one of 3 million active users. They're the easiest to play. They're the most exciting way to play your daily fantasy sports. And it's unlike other apps. On Prize Picks, it's just you against the numbers. You're a fantasy player. You know when it's more. You know when it's less. Up to 100 times your money according to how you play it. $1,000 on basketball, hockey, and college basketball entries. Today is the time to play. You can turn $10 into big money quick. The biggest moments in professional basketball are happening right now, and it's no fun unless you're playing. Go to Prize Picks right now and remember the code ALAMO for your first deposit match of up to $100. That's the code ALAMO. Prize Picks. Fantasy, you're playing already. Go win. Download the Prize Picks app. Use the code ALAMO and up to $100 deposit matches. Pick more. Pick less. It's that easy.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair is gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
Last year's RV trip, we met a couple with the same bumper sticker. What are the odds?
Your cousin isn't a good storyteller.
He was a podiatrist, or was it a pharmacist?
You don't say.
Oh, I can't remember.
But she owns an RV protected by Progressive, and you don't. So until you get your own RV, her stories are the most interesting stories you've ever heard.
Wow, interesting.
And when you do get your own RV, save money by bundling it with your home, auto, or other vehicles with Progressive.
Oh, anesthesiologist. He was an anesthesiologist.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Lowe's knows pros need the right tools for every job. That's why we sell the largest in-store selection of Klein tools anywhere. Find new items launching exclusively at Lowe's, like the self-leveling laser level for just $159.98. Plus, shop the Connect socket set for just $49.98. Get Klein tools in-store and online today, because Lowe's knows tools. Lowe's knows pros.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate, because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Last segment on the Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. I'm AJ Hoffman. He is Rob Thompson. We've had ourselves a good day too, friend. It's been fun. We've talked some Wemby. We've talked some. We've had some disagreement about the future fate of the Nuggets, who I think are done for. Man, I really think they are done for.
I believe in the strength of a champion.
Okay.
Rudy T told us.
And you're a champion until you're not.
Right.
And
they're just about not, but
they're on their way to not. All right, we're going to do something every day called today the Daily Lines, and we're going to do that now. Go ahead and now we've got it right, Edwin. Let's go, baby.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the Daily Lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
What do we got going today? Let's start in the NHL, where the New York Rangers have a 1-0 lead on the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah,
and
as a guy who plays hockey, what is the easiest other than score bet to make? Like other
totals.
Than the totals.
Yeah.
Is that where you go to?
I like that. I generally like, so there's three ways to play hockey. There's the money line. Mm-hmm. There's a puck line, which if it's in the playoffs, puck lines are different because, or they're less prevalent because the lines are usually close. Mm-hmm. But when a really good team's playing a really bad team, it'll be minus 1.5 goals.
What is the puck line? What am I betting on?
Minus 1.5.
Minus 1.5.
So
what's
minus 1.5 goals.
Oh, so
you have to win. Okay. Like you have to win 4-2. And the best friend of the puck line is the empty net.
Oh yeah.
The late empty net when you're up one, they pop one in, and you're like, oh yeah, baby. But it can also be your worst enemy if you play the other side of it. Okay. And the best friend, what's great about totals is 6.5. If your number's 6.5 and you're 3-3 going to overtime, you've already won. Yeah. Like 3-3, 3 plus 3 equals 7 is what they say.
Six
in the
seems high to me. I know that was the number you just pulled. Well, if I hear 6, I'm immediately thinking that's a lot.
Colorado Dallas tonight. I'll give you game 1, the Rangers and Panthers, Carolina Panthers. No, it's Carolina Hurricanes. Yep. Carolina a minus 118.
Is it as important or less?
I'll be honest. I don't think it's as important as like in the. I think in the playoffs it's probably very important. Because these are riled up crowds and riled up crowds. It's hard because in basketball you can say it's worth a certain amount of points. Here you have to say it's worth a certain amount of cents, like minus 120. Like if this was played on a neutral, it'd probably be Carolina would probably be minus 135, something like that. The other game tonight, Colorado and Dallas, who everyone, even Knights fans, Stars fans, everyone's kind of afraid of big bad Colorado. Juggernaut. What they're just putting up 1 million goals per game. That's why the total in this one is 6.5. So it's a big number. But
too big for you?
I think if I were playing, I would play the over.
Yeah.
Because Colorado's scoring 1 million goals a game. Like I want to say in their first round series, they scored like, I don't know, 30 something goals, like some, or 20, 25, maybe, like an absurd number. Just
You're talking me into this, you know that, right?
Well, listen, I just a thought. Dallas is a minus 120 favorite though, coming off their win over Vegas. I guess if you like Dallas, it may be correlated. If you like Colorado, you like the over. If you like Dallas, you like the under, because you're hoping the Ottinger just keeps you in a game.
Correlate Dallas in their playoff run to an NBA team. How should I apply what they're doing? Are they a surprise like Minnesota? Are they expected like Boston?
It might be like Minnesota because they're the 1 seed.
Right.
And now people are like, they were in a fight early on, and now they're slightly favored in this series.
Are they starting to believe it? Like, man, we could do this kind of thing where the momentum is starting to build?
They've got a hot goalie.
There we go.
In hockey, the Golden Knights last year got carried by a hot goalie. It can happen. And I just watching Ottinger, he could be that kind of a guy. So that's your 2 games on the ice tonight. On the hardwood, Mavericks Thunder, game 1. Thunder, 3.5 point favorites at home. Total 218.5. I'll be honest.
They better be careful.
Normally I say, and by the way, this opened at 216. So people are saying over's the way to go here. 2.5 points. That's a big move. But I generally say in game 1s, I want to play the dog, because generally the discrepancy between the 2 teams is less than people think. But for whatever reason, I think the Thunder are maybe a little bit undervalued. Like the idea that the Thunder are the number 1 seed in the Western Conference and being kind of overlooked makes me feel a lot how I feel about the T-Wolves. Minnesota they were the top seed in the West for the majority of the season, and people are like, yeah, but they're not good.
Yeah.
And it's because they haven't been there, and people assume the Thunder haven't been there, it can't be real. But you don't want to wait until it's real to buy in. You want to buy in before people figure out that it's real, right?
As far as Oklahoma City goes, obviously they want to be at home. I think they have the least home court advantage of all the teams in the playoffs. I don't think that building is as rocking as it. Watch them tonight. It's like the fans aren't quite sure how to let loose. I think they have the least amount of home support. Not that they don't love them, but when you look at what was going on at the Garden last night, and the Garden was at like a 7. I mean, they weren't even fully amped. Right. And Oklahoma City can't even come close to that. They haven't even come close to that so far this year. So I don't think they have quite the home support. I tell you what, when I see the opening like this, and I know what Luka's capable of and how they can control the pace, I like the dog in this one too. I really do.
I might be against you on this one. I think I'm going to like the dog in the early game though. Cavs at the Celtics. It opened Celtics minus 10.5. If you're betting it now,
that's huge.
If you're betting it now, it's Celtics minus 12.
Oh man, no way.
You're getting to me a disrespectful number. And listen, I think the Celtics are going to win this series handily. And I'm not of the belief that I don't think betting against the Celtics in Boston is profitable over the long haul. It's proven out that it is not.
12 points?
12 points in a game 1. I can't look. Here's the other thing, and here's, I guess, the argument for the Celtics. You mentioned this earlier, out of sight, out of mind. They breezed through round 1, and the Cavaliers were in a dogfight with a not very good Orlando Magic team. That's concerning. So if you were all out to beat the Magic, and remember, they were down 18 in the first half to the freaking Magic. If you get down 18 in the first half to the Celtics, that 12 points is going to be impossible to cover because the Celtics. So I still think 12 is a little heavy, but Yeah, I can't lay 12.
But I'll take what you have over under at 210.5.
209.5 now.
Oh, it's fallen. I like that.
You like over?
I like the over
209.5. Yeah, I think that's probably the way I would look as well. Cavs are a defensive team, but if the
no
Celtics
Jared Allen today.
No Jared Allen. Yeah, that's what I'm understanding. So that would factor in. Out on the grass, it's the hard ball. Jose Urania and Ross Stripling going for Texas and Oakland. Texas took game 1 yesterday. They were down 2-0, ended up winning 4-0. Texas minus 118 on the road. Actually just ticked to minus 119 as I was staring at my screen here. And total in that game is 8. And the Houston Astros get back to business tonight. Boy, this is something you wouldn't have seen a year ago. Justin Verlander throwing for the Houston Astros, and he's a dog. Luis Gil for the New York Yankees, a minus 117 home favorite over Justin Verlander. The total in that game, a game with Justin Verlander pitching, 8.5.
Oh, man.
So
I ain't touching that game.
This ain't your daddy's Justin Verlander is what they're saying. Getting Verlander at a dog price, it's tempting, but God, the Astros freaking suck. I mean, it's been a joke watching this team play. Like it feels like they're like the window's closed on them. It happened fast, man.
Yet. They gotta get healthy a little bit. Get guys back in, get the bats woke.
They've got to make decisions pretty soon because I don't think they're re-signing Alex Bregman long term. They've got to make a decision on him. And if ownership continues their motto of saying we're not going to give these long-term mega contracts, and so far it's worked out. Not paying George Springer turned out to be a smart call. Not paying Carlos Correa turned out to be a genius call. Kyle Tucker is wanting like a 7 or 8 year deal.
They're going to pay him.
Are they?
I think they have to.
If you're not going to, and this is the season you're having, you're going to have to trade him this year, and you're going to have to get a big haul for Kyle Tucker because you got to make that decision. Are you going to go against what you've said? Like, are you, because they've said we're not giving out these deals except for Kyle Tucker. And I wouldn't be mad at the Astros if they made an exception. And Kyle Tucker and Yordan are clearly the future of this team.
Right? Yeah.
And no longer do you can't feel like you've got the pitching to support an okay offense. Now your pitching is a question mark.
Do they believe that? I think they still believe they got the pitching. I think they're just like,
sure hope they show
we
up
can
soon.
round into form and we can find them by July. We're going to be okay.
This Hunter Brown that they were like, this is going to be our next guy. His ERA is like 12. Whatever his jersey number is, it's his ERA. Disaster. So I don't know, but I think the Astros have to make some decisions. So there you go. You can get Justin Verlander as a dog tonight if that were to interest you. I will say this, a guy who I've seen a couple times, and I don't know if he's given up more than like 1 or 2 earned runs in a game this season. Have you seen this Shota Imanaga for the Cubs?
I've seen just enough to know that he's worthy of watching.
He's something, man. Cubs are minus 153 at home against the Padres. Padres have been playing good ball too. That tells you how good this Imanaga guy is because he is freaking dealing. And I think his ERA is like 1.0 something through 5 starts.
My problem with Cubs at home is I got to look at a weather report.
That's a good point. That's a good point. So there you go. That is the daily lines. That's what's happening today. Get your money in there legally, of course, if you can. And I was telling you playing on Prize Picks, your favorite gaming app.
It is indeed. Me and 3 million others are
gaming app.
It is a gaming app.
I'm going to be on Prize Picks too. I've got to check it out because when I was in Vegas, you can't play it there.
No, it's just ironic of all things.
I'm interested in the format. I want to try it. And I know a couple guys who are kind of like prop specialists that I trade information with, and feel like maybe we can make some money.
I'll tell you, there's playing the line, there's playing the numbers, and then there's Prize Picks. And there is something to knowing fantasy. There is something. There is skill to appreciate.
Sights and Sounds of Pink Floyd.
Now that's a worthy venue for the Sphere, right?
Aztec Theater. Or you mean,
like,
Bricks in the Wall?
Bricks in the Wall. You can see the whole thing.
Yeah, I imagine they'd do a hell of a show. Win a pair of tickets to see Bricks in the Wall, Sight and Sounds of Pink Floyd, June 22nd at the Aztec Theater. You been to the Aztec Theater?
Yeah, a few times. Aztec's
Good music venue.
Yeah, it's one of those good mid-size, good venue. They got a good open space down at the bottom. That plenty of room for standing. Not a huge venue, but good sound and ideal for this kind of show.
And if you're a loser and you don't win the free tickets, you can buy tickets at livenation.com, just like that. So we've not on our show yet. I'm gonna go complain about this because we haven't given these away yet. Because I've been looking for a reason to talk Planet of the Apes. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is coming out on what, Thursday? What's May 10th? Is that going to be
that's
Friday?
3 days from now. So.
Okay, that'll be Friday. I'm gonna go watch Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I love Planet of the Apes movies. Joe was saying he thinks they're garbage. And he's so angry that the original Planet of the Apes movie, which was made in what, I want to say 69, but I might be wrong. 70.
The first one goes all the way back to 1968.
68. Okay. And he's like, look at these guys. It's clearly men in masks. Well, and it's like, yeah, the movie was made in 1968.
By the way, it's talking monkeys.
And yeah, they're carrying guns. Like, there's a lot of stuff in Hollywood, believe it or not, there's a lot of things that aren't realistic about Hollywood. Like, I know that's going to, but Joe cannot suspend reality for Planet of the Apes, particularly the ones that were filmed in the late 60s. He's got no time for it. He's like, I can't believe this passed. This is a bad movie. The original Planet of the Apes is a great film. And anyone who says otherwise is just wrong. Like, you just don't have any taste. And that's okay. You're allowed to be tasteless scum. But the truth is, that's a fantastic movie. And every Planet of the Apes film since has been cinematic brilliance. And the truth is, the reason why they're so great is because it could actually happen one day. Like, the truth is,
damn dirty ape.
If these apes, if they discover gunpowder, we're screwed, man, because apes are stronger than us. They're faster than us. Right now, we can keep them in cages.
We can.
The time is going to come where one of them figures it out. And all it's going to take is that one, the Albert Einstein of apes.
Will that be an orangutan, a gorilla, or a chimpanzee?
Listen, I can't see the future. I'm not the amazing Kreskin. I don't know.
Well, they told us that when they do become smart, like the orangutans are the learneds.
Who's the one that throws poop?
Those are the chimpanzees.
It's not going to be that.
That's the daily dudes.
Those are the workaday guys. Foot soldiers.
Yeah, like Cornelius, the guys that had. He's just a workaday chimpanzee, just going to work.
I really think it's going to be a gorilla.
Well, see, that's the war makers. Those are the tough guys.
Yeah, because the orangutans are going to be like the consiglieres. They're like, hey,
smart ones.
This is what you need to do. This is the way to attack. This is the way to attack the humans. And the gorilla is going to say, all right, let's do it. Strap this rocket to my arm and let's go.
I have some.
We'll kick their human ass.
Did you know that the Planet of the Apes is actually a book?
Yes,
it's French. The La Planète des Singes, written by Pierre Boulez in 1963.
You know who read that in high school?
Did you really? Did you?
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah.
It was part of the required reading
curriculum
for anybody over 7 feet tall.
Yeah, he and Rudy Gobert have both read. How about that? The two best defenders in the NBA are French. Where was your defense in World War II? Why do we have to come save you?
They were capitulating is what they were doing.
Why didn't you block some shots before we had to come over there and bail you out? Come on, man. Get your act together, France. Now all of a sudden you're defensive specialists? Come on.
There is no irony. Think of the time when the first Planet of the Apes came out in 68.
Mm-hmm.
And think of the era and what was going on in the world in 68.
Yeah.
And
free love.
Well, it was this veiled comparison. The apes were actually the comparison to the hippies of the day. And they were the people were the comparison and the apes were the old school.
And now the hippies rule the world.
And here we go again.
The woke folk are now in charge.
I'm awake.
Look at us. Now we're just the humans being overrun.
And it's the kids that are looking at us like we're the orangutan.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. I will say this.
I'm going to throw
Planet of
poop
the
at
Apes,
them if they get out of line.
I think it was like the second or third Planet of the Apes when, now they were living in cities and they'd kind of grown.
Mm-hmm.
That's when, as a young heterosexual boy, watching those women run around
the ape women,
not the ape women, the people that were like apes. The women that didn't speak.
Yeah.
Which was really a dream back then. That's really my first realization that I was.
That's when you knew
those were girls.
That's when you knew, huh?
I was probably about 4 or 5 watching them run around like the leather.
Have you ever watched any of these have you watched the newest Planet of the Apes?
I have
movies?
seen every Planet of the Apes.
Okay, when you've watched the more modern ones, because in the old days, the lady apes, I mean, like Joe would say, you could tell they're people in masks.
The lady apes have a little bit of lipstick.
Yeah, like that's the only thing that separated them. But like now, have you watched one of these ape movies and gone, in a pinch?
Right. Okay, so
in a pinch, that ape lady, if it was just me and her and no one was going to find out.
Well, this was a time. Remember when Marky Mark? Wahlberg did it, and he had a little scene with a monkey that kind of got a little frisky, a little bestiality action going on there, almost committed a felony.
Is it bestiality if they're walking upright and speaking?
I think if you're covered in hair. I think if
then my wife is into beasts.
Well, you're allowed to, but if she is covered in hair and has lipstick,
okay,
then we're starting.
Gotcha.
If she asks for a banana before or after and wants to eat it,
there's so many rules.
But I think at that point we were getting a little weird. I remember watching that part of the movie and I thought, okay, because that was the guy that was Roth, right? The guy that did Edward Scissorhands decided he would do.
Yeah.
And got that little love scene, little love action.
Yeah.
If I'm the actor, they go, okay, in this scene.
Yeah.
I want you to get really buddy up with the lady doctor.
I mean, I'm just saying that there's been times where I looked at the ape lady and was like,
well, we've all been in a club about 12:45.
Well, yeah.
We've all seen the light about to come over.
And this is why I always say this is the biggest advantage that women have over men. If a woman goes out and she wants to take home some strange, no matter how big she is, how ugly she is, smelly,
she can.
There is a dude who will say, you know what? Yep.
I mean,
dudes don't have that luxury. I mean, we just don't.
That's the precipice of the Planet of the Apes. That's why we're here. We're looking at we are just barely above the monkeys, man.
I think you are right, Now, there's always the option to buy it now, but that's illegal. You can't do that. That's what they would call the underground stuff, and we don't talk about that. But if you really needed to, that's the way you'd go about it. I think
you just go find a bathhouse.
Yeah, those exist.
So I've been told.
What's your favorite?
I have several. We'll get into my favorite bathhouse on another day. I've got a ranking system.
I'm gonna get a full list. This is. Before I become puro San Antonio, I'm going to need your favorite breakfast taco places and your favorite bathhouses.
Well, normally if it's a good one, they're side by side.
Exactly. Oh boy, if you could walk out of that thing and hit up and get some nice carne asada, that's a hell of a morning.
Tacos first. That's how you meet them.
Ooh, you don't want to do that.
Well,
that's a mess.
That's a kink.
All right, day 2. Son of a mother.
We almost made it.
We almost made the whole day.
15 seconds.
Day 2 in the books. Thank you, Rob. Thanks to you guys for listening. We're enjoying this. Hope you guys are having a good time. The Blitz later on. Stay tuned. Enjoy the day. 94.1 on San Antonio Sports Star.
On your ride to work, it's the